There he is. Give me a
How's
test
it
and
going,
see.
brother?
Dude, look at your beautiful face, man. How are you?
Look at that hair.
Look at yours, bro. Yours is all nice. Mine's
We're
unkempt.
we're we're competitive Jesuses.
What kind of product do you use there, man?
It's Miss Jeannie's curly something, but yeah.
Like that's awesome. You look great, dude. You look great. It's great to see you.
Thanks. It's great to see you too. So
Yeah.
Ryan's up to his old lies again, huh?
Yeah, you know how it is, man. Making up
Kids.
make believe and you know. How's health and
Oh,
life?
I'm doing great. How's it going with you guys?
Pretty good. Jess is right here. You want to say hello to Lauren?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going, Jess?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you working lately?
I'm working with Justin right now. I was working at a place called Windsor Ridge Assisted Living.
Yeah, I know where that's at.
COVID came around, I stopped working there and I started working from home.
That's a smart move. The hospitals and like assisted living facilities and nursing facilities have just been just
Yes.
a huge hot mess.
Yes. As soon as one thing comes in that building, everybody gets it. It just spreads so fast and yeah.
She doesn't have a spleen either, so I kind of convinced her to.
You don't have a spleen?
No.
You just
I didn't mean to spill the beans, but
No, I had to have it taken out when I was like 22.
wow.
that apparently compromises immune systems and shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just not. They're just not taking it seriously. It doesn't seem. Like was it the statistics? 50% of COVID deaths are in nursing facilities. Yeah.
It's awful, man.
Sad.
Yeah. I'm
Shit.
glad we're starting this off on a positive, uplifting note.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
No. The point is, we're all safe and healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great. And I'm lucky because I can work from home where I can just kick everybody out of the office and say nobody can come in but me. So that's what I've
Right.
been.
Yeah. I've been
Yeah.
working from home for what? This is 3 years now, so it's nothing would change at all for me. But
Are you
I
still?
have her.
Well, you're not doing title, are you?
No, I'm doing personal, attorney shit, personal
Attorney. That's,
injury.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
paralegal shit. It's good stuff, man. Really, I mean, I'm able to sit here. Don't wear pants very often. They don't know any different. You know what I mean?
I don't think you. It's the same old deal. Now you just don't get in trouble for it. That's the
Right.
difference.
And plus, man, I don't have to talk to like actual people in person. All
Right.
that anxiety of like office who's and what's, and
Oh, that stuff's just all bullshit.
I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't fit well in the HR realm of today, if that makes sense.
No, that makes 100% sense. 100%
Yeah.
sense. The kids are good. All 12 of them, I think,
Yeah,
is
dude.
how many you
They're
guys
all.
are.
That's what Jessica's been doing, wrapping 200 presents over here. Has been an elf factory down here. We're in my basement where my office is. This is where we stashed all the goods. She's been trying to wrap as we get, you know what I mean? So that way they're less odds of them seeing.
Are your kids like searchers for presents?
No, but they're they're smarter than me. They just look at my internet history and shit.
I didn't even think about that actually. I
Dude,
was just
it's almost impossible to try to hide it.
no. I remember growing up that like you'd watch shows and movies and they were like the kids were trying to find the Christmas presents and all that. And as a
I
kid,
did.
like I I didn't understand it because the best part was the surprise. So I'd get pretty pissed if I found out what one of my gifts is.
Yeah. See, I did it, but my grandparents caught on after I found them the first time. The next year they would wrap them and then put them in their hiding spot before putting under trees. So I would
Oh,
find like
that's
already wrapped presents and be pissed.
that's
You know what I
really
mean? 'Cause I
smart.
couldn't like shake it and 'cause I was afraid of, you know what I mean? Like couldn't get it out
Yeah,
of its spot.
I thought that you were gonna say, and next year they didn't get me anything.
Well, give it time, man. That's later on. They did stop the tree and ended up not like just handing me a bag full of stuff, like unwrapped. Like Here's your shit, boy.
Yeah, yeah. Rapping's a chore. We don't give our parents props enough for rapping all of our junk.
Right.
growing
I am
up.
not the skilled be at it, but I give it shots. I've done quite a bit this year, to be honest, just to kind of chip in. It's quite the load. All these kids, man. It's wild.
Um, yeah, y'all's video with Dave was fantastic.
Actually, I just texted him and sent him a link, so hopefully he may come join us here shortly. Who knows?
That'd be fantastic. It'd be a almost Chumley reunion. Chumley the
Yeah,
band.
man. And I
Chumley.
didn't realize you and Ryan knew each other.
What?
I mean, I thought you did, but it's weird that
We
because
lived together.
See, I didn't know that.
We were married.
Okay, I knew that, but I thought you lived apart.
No, no, no. It's funny because
Circo win.
yeah. I mean,
When was this circus?
I'll wait till everybody's here to connect stories and everything.
Okay, okay, good call there.
I'll wait on that. It's actually interesting because it's. I mean, I think it's interesting. Maybe it's not at all, but.
Oh, I'm sure it will be because I'm interested.
Tell
Tell me about your job, though, man. It's been I don't know how long it's been since I've talked to you, but you seem like you're doing pretty fun stuff.
Oh yeah. I love it. Basically, it's working with folks with developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, getting them out there in the community, get them included, and like doing advocacy stuff.
Is there like a range of disability? Like, how does that work as far as
I mean,
scalable?
the folks we work with all have intellectual disabilities, so but the whole range of disability, goes. We have people with physical disabilities. We have some people that don't have any physical disabilities that have intellectual disabilities. Um, it's just weird, man. It's just weird learning about all this stuff. Like I got really into like disability culture stuff when I was in college.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you learn that disability it's nothing. Like it's just somebody calling somebody not normal,
Right.
whatever it means, right?
Yeah, I actually read the American Disability Act for the first time when COVID happened, like when I convinced her to like stop working
Yeah.
because she's considered disabled, not having a spleen. That's a
See, and
immunocompromised thing.
that's the thing. I mean, we basically been sold this bill of goods in America and other countries, but I'll just speak for America, that disability is a bad word, and it's not a
Right.
bad. It's just not. Like we're all going to be disabled. We get older. We're
Yeah.
going to have
Even without age, we all are to some degree in some fashion. You know what I mean? Depends on how narrow you want to define it.
I mean, it sounds cliche, but like, what is normal? We came up with that.
Yeah.
Like that. And once you realize that, you just realize how silly labeling everything is, really.
Right.
And yeah, but it's been a passion of mine. I mean, I've been uh, in this field for almost 2 decades, actually.
Wow.
And now
Well,
I
let me
help.
ask you this then: what makes somebody qualify for this type of treatment?
Sure,
When would that be brought up to as like a form of recommended treatment? You know what I mean?
yeah. So if a person has an intellectual disability in Indiana and meets the criteria that the state determines, state of Indiana, basically it's you just have to need assistance in some area, and the assistance, like my friend Mark Hubler, for instance. Mark has Down syndrome. He's a public speaker. He got a degree from a college over in Louisville. Um, Mark just needs like just a little bit of assistance, like
Yeah.
he gets around the community, so it's like something like that. And then you can have people that require like total assistance and need like nursing care and all that. It's
Right.
just a range. Yeah.
Are
The basic,
intellectual disabilities do they have like a separate guideline that they do they differentiate as far as the guidelines go? And
I mean,
you know what I mean? Is there different laws that apply, that sort of thing?
yeah, I'm just gonna say, I mean, this like intellectual disability, it's just an IQ test, and the IQ test is just 100% pure bullshit. It's just a number,
Sure.
right?
Right.
So that's really the thing. I mean, we put people in boxes, like, oh, they have a profound intellectual disability, or they have this type of a severe intellectual disability, but it doesn't really mean anything. Most folks can communicate in their own way, and
Sure.
most folks are. Um, it's just perceiving and communicating with the world differently. I mean,
Right.
that's what autism is. It's not that people with disabilities are less than. We, all the rest of us, it's like figuring out how to communicate with people. It doesn't make them less than
Right.
human. It's on us, and we're kind of like, oh, well, they communicate differently, so it's their fault. It's their disability for them to deal with. When, just
Right.
learn to talk to folks. It's not hard.
Right. So it seems like it's one of those realms that are like ever changing as far as terminology, the updated diagnoses and stuff. How
Yeah.
do the laws like change with that? Are there
Well, I mean,
like yearly reviews or update, type of
yeah,
situation?
it's kind of like that with disability. It's a mix of what the disability community wants to be called, right?
Mhm.
And then you get like the DSM stuff,
Right. Right.
the diagnostic manual stuff. They change stuff every so many years too. But the things stay the same. You can call it intellectual disability or autism, whatever you want to call it. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Still,
it's
yeah.
still what it is. Yeah.
So
I don't
is
know.
your interest more on the DSM side as far as like your intellectual interests, or on the hands-on
My
interactive
interest,
side? Like,
my interest is revolution and stirring up shit. That's what my interest is really. Because what
right?
I've found, like people with intellectual disabilities and people with disabilities in general, I don't need to speak for people with disabilities. I don't have a disability. They speak for themselves, right? So
Yeah.
I don't want anybody thinking that I'm speaking on behalf. But
Right. Right. Right.
the one thing that really sucks, man, is just so many people have such low expectations of people with intellectual disabilities. And I've been friends with people for, well, I mean, in high school, middle school, we were friends with people with intellectual disabilities, Chum. I mean,
I feel
we
like half the people I know.
yeah, it's
Honestly.
yeah, one interesting thing is that what I've learned by like writing about stuff, and I wrote those articles, which we can talk about a little bit later on, about growing up. So many people came forward and told me that they had an IEP. I mean, I'm not gonna like list them all, but they
Right.
like Facebook me like, oh, I had an IEP too, all through high
Explain what
school.
an IEP is. It
Oh,
just
sorry.
yeah. Yeah.
An individualized education plan. Basically, it
Okay.
means special education, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
all.
just a set of like, here's what we recommend as far as teaching style, what they need to
Yeah.
learn, stuff,
Yep.
situations. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to ask stupid questions, but
These
that's
aren't
the
these
way I
aren't
learn
stupid
by.
questions, man. No, see,
Okay.
that's the problem. The problem is a lot of times people who are in these kind of businesses and stuff, and in these fields, they use all this jargon, and
Right.
yeah. So
I was
use
saying the same thing earlier. Me and Jess were reading about the RNA vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and how
yeah,
RNA, works, you know what I mean, as far as like creating the proteins or whatever it's doing. And basically, I ended up saying it's not something that, it's not like I can't understand, but the terminology, is the hardest part, because it's difficult to communicate in that realm without just having a broad knowledge of the terminology itself.
see, you're right there. You made a point. I don't even think you knew you made a point. Right? Like that.
See,
That's basically how folks with intellectual disabilities or learning disabilities feel. Right?
yeah,
it's not that folks with intellectual disabilities or learning disabilities can't understand stuff. That's
Right.
ridiculous. You have to present it in a different way. Like the RNA thing, like you're reading about.
Yeah.
If you had somebody come in, you know, and break it down, we could understand it, and we just need different language, right? It's not that our
Yeah.
brain capacities can't, but people want to feel, they want to feel smart, right? And they want to feel like their field is, you
Yeah.
know, specialized and all that jazz. So
And the frustration comes from, like, it's not that I can't understand the terminology. It's hey, I'm unfamiliar with it. So in order to understand it, so we got to stop here and go, okay, well, explain what that is. All right, that makes sense.
right.
And I'll move on back to where we were. And you know what I mean? Like, that's, you just
Yeah,
got to understand people need to, like, aren't always up to speed in the realm you're in. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's just yeah. But yeah, I mean, my thing is, people with intellectual disabilities, people have such low expectations, and people with disabilities, people have low expectations of them. And I've just learned that it's just ridiculous. Like none of the
Yeah.
stuff is true that people think
It
about.
seems like that's across the field, though. Like, even across professions. You know,
Yeah,
a doctor has that same disregard for non-doctor, patients or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Attorneys and clients. Across the board, it's like a superiority complex type shit.
it is. It's a weird thing, man. Everybody wants to have their clubs, right?
Right. Yeah. And
And
it's sad because it really disables the ability to communicate effectively with one another.
it does. Man, this conversation got deep from the get go.
Dude, this is why I do this, because I enjoy talking to people. And, like, this is how I learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, like looking at like it is ridiculous how discriminatory it is towards people with disabilities. Like the 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 unemployment rate for people with disabilities, and by disabilities I mean all disabilities when I
Sure.
say that, not intellectual disabilities. It is astronomical, man. It is in some states as high as 75% of people with disabilities are unemployed and want jobs.
Yeah.
It's you
It
know,
seems like a lot of that has to do with like the getting on disability financial relief
yeah,
qualifications, and that how long that process takes and how much of a nightmare it is, how you get denied 18 times, and people
yeah.
are pretty much homeless before they get approved for
Oh, it's hard. And then
disability.
when it gets approved, you get like what, $750
Right.
to
But you
live on.
can't work because then you don't get it, and the
Right.
health insurance.
Then you get punished, right?
Hmm.
And then if you work for a company and you come on full time, they don't want to pay for your insurance because you have a disability.
Right.
It's just really messed up. I think that's the thing that really drew me to studying disabilities, and is that I got really into uh, to Black literature and Black culture in college, like especially African American literature. And I've always been fascinated by the civil rights movement. I've always been a hippie. Not that I need to tell you that. I think you knew that growing up with me. Uh,
I may or
but
may not have some of that.
I think you have a lot of that. But it surprised me that so much discrimination was going on with folks with disabilities that nobody was talking about, and
Yeah.
it's just it's ridiculous, man. Like people can't get into buildings, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They
That's
can't. They
absurd.
literally cannot get into buildings if they're wheelchair users.
Right.
That blows my mind.
It does. It
Or
really.
like
Yeah.
the example I give, like I have a lot of deaf friends. The example I always give about accessibility is, tell me the last time you, Chum, went into, this is kind of a hard question now with COVID times, but the last time you went into a movie theater and watched a movie with captions. Has that ever happened in your life?
No. I thought
So,
I saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but I saw that on DVD.
well, I mean, if
But
I'm
yeah,
English, you know what I mean, like English caption.
never.
Yeah, right. So I learned, I was talking to one of my deaf friends, like they would offer closed captioning, and it's still this way in cinemas. They offer closed captioning certain times for certain showings, and those certain times and certain showings are usually during the week at like noon or 1 o'clock. So in order for you to see the new Star Wars movie or to participate in culture or whatever, you have to
Day off
literally,
work. Yeah, you got to take a vacation day and like.
yeah. Speaking of which, you know my love for you is real because I have not watched The Mandalorian season finale because I'm on this call with you. I chose you
Is it on
guys.
right now?
It came on. It's been up today.
Okay. See, that's one thing I appreciate about my overconsumption of internet content is I have no idea release dates on anything. I don't, you know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
happen to see it because it's just my turn to look at this queue to see if there's anything in there worth watching again for the thousandth time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there it is. Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it. It's up there.
Yeah, so sweet. I'm looking forward to it. I was
Yeah.
pretty shocked about the last episode.
Me too.
Bill Burr, man, fucking love him.
I know.
Fucking love him, man. He's the modern day Archie Bunker. You know, I think.
Speaking of which, I have to. Ryan's not on the call yet, so. All right, so I was watching, sitting in the dining room, watching y'all's last podcast, whatever you want to call us, your last Tribe Called Chum with Dave.
Decent
And
name or no?
what?
Decent name or no?
Oh,
Tribe Called
Chum.
Chum.
Yeah, it's a good
Sweet.
name because it is a tribe. Yeah, it's a tribe.
Sweet.
So what? Anyway, I was sitting there, and you guys were talking, obviously, because that's what the point of the show is. And Emily didn't know what I was watching, and she heard Ryan's voice, and she thought that Ryan was. I don't know whether we should tell him or not. He might not like this, but she thought Ryan was an actor from What We Do in the Shadows, the show. I don't know if you've seen that at all.
I've seen the movie, haven't seen the show, but I can imagine. Okay, that makes sense.
There's a character called the Energy Vampire on there who sucks people's energy, and he's also, I cannot think of the actor's name. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna tell you something. He was also on The Office. You'll see his face and you'll go, oh, that guy. So I pulled it up, and she's right. Ryan looks exactly like this guy, like spot on.
Oh shit! Was
Yeah.
it something? Kind of describe why did she explain it a little bit? And of course, I'll edit this. You know what I mean? It's all.
Oh yeah, no. She didn't. She just said that he sounded exactly like, she just thought it was him.
That's
She thought
awesome.
it was like a
Just a
celebrity.
podcast that guy happened to be doing that you were watching.
Right. I mean, she's never heard your voice. She
Nice.
didn't say that you sounded like anybody. So.
Give it
Girl.
time. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
Ryan is so unique, man.
Yeah.
He really is. Like the way his brain works is totally different than mine, and it's awesome to watch.
I mean, like I had the pleasure to live with him for a year, to be in a band with him, and yeah, it's hard because I want to tell a bunch of stories, but I'll just wait until
He's coming,
here.
man. He's bath has been accomplished. Bedtime process is underway. They are
Bedtime is nigh.
6 and 3, so mine are a little older, and Jessica's on top. You know, I don't even know where my older two are. They're here somewhere. They're vampires hanging around.
He's put him to bed at like 7? Is that normal? I don't have kids.
It's Colorado time. I don't know what time it is. He's like 2 hours behind us. 2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours minus?
I think 8 is their bedtime, so he's.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll accept it. I thought he was putting him to bed at like 6 o'clock. Yo, you go to bed.
Dinner and Benadryl.
Locking the door.
Right. Deep fried Benadryl for dinner.
Yeah. There'll probably be random cats behind me or on my lap throughout
Awesome.
this.
How many do you have?
3.
Nice.
And
David Toy also has 3 cats.
All right.
I have 1 and 2 dogs, so 3.
I have 3 cats and one 4.5 pound dog named
Nice.
Yoshi.
We got a
Yeah.
little Pekingese who knows how much that little shit weighs. She's all hair. She's not maybe 2 pounds.
You know, it's fun. You are very rarely do people have Pekingeses anymore. You
Dude,
don't
they're the
hear about.
best.
Yeah, my granny had a Pekingese from the age of 13. I don't know how old she was. Up until about 15 years ago, she had like just a series of Pekingeses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're
You'd
the
always,
most docile, like lovable little. They'll let you do whatever.
yeah, they're great. I mean, she'd always tell me, because they're the emperors.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah,
The
that's fantastic.
sleeves. That's amazing. I can see it, dude. After having this dog for so long, I mean, that is there definitely possible.
I mean,
She
could
would
you
just
imagine
chill.
what thought process comes? Like you're looking at your sleeves, you're like, I could put a dog in there. I'm gonna put a dog in there.
Once your sleeves are as fancy as they can get, it's like
Yeah,
it's like bedazzling your sleeves. That's how the emperors looked at it.
it's ridiculous.
Just
That's
little
ridiculous.
jewels, Pekingese jewels, because they don't bark really. They don't do
No,
anything. They're the laziest. She'll let you blow dry her, whatever you want to do. She don't care.
so let's see here. The Pekingese that I grew up with, that Granny had when I was a little kid, her name was Mei Ling, and then Mei Ling was her name. Uh,
Give
Tippy
her a
Tail.
Chinese name.
Yes, it's not racist because
Oh no, yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, Mei Ling. I think the first one's name was Tippy Tail, which is not.
A change of pace. That's for sure. That's crazy.
Maybe
What
Mei
a
Ling was the only Asian name that Granny knew at that time.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I have like a 80-pound mutt too. She's over here on the floor
lovely, lovely.
snoring. Yeah, she's a big fatty. But yeah, their animals are cool, man. You gotta have them
Yeah.
around.
So our Yoshi's not in here. I think he's in bed. He's a very lazy dog. Not this past winter, but the winter before that, I was nasty outside. It was snowing and like 20 degrees, and I look out the window and I see like this flash go by, and I told Emily, I was like, I think this was a dog. And so we went out, and Emily scooped this thing up, and I would love to know Yoshi's backstory, because he must have weighed like 3.5 or 4 pounds when we got him. He was in such bad shape that he had dreadlocks. Right, like, so it meant
A
like
little bitty dog like that?
that meant he was on the streets, right?
That's unusual for a smaller dog to be, you know what I mean, out and about like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm surprised a hawk didn't get him. I
Yeah,
worry about that.
that's fucking shithawks, man. I'm serious. Owls, those little, you don't rarely see a little dog like that loose. And if it is, it's like somebody's looking for it right then. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man, it was bad. I mean, either Yoshi was loose, or he'd been on the streets for a while, or he had just busted out. It was bad. He had like what looked like black dirt all over him, and when Emily went to go bathe him, um, it wasn't the fleas were so bad that they looked like they were just covering him. Like, it was bugs don't gross me out, but this grossed me out. They were like you couldn't see his skin. There were so many
Like a
fleas.
carpet, moving carpet of.
Poor dog, and his claws were like it was bad, man. It's bad.
Oh,
But he's been with us since,
sure he's
and
living a high life now.
he's living the high life.
It's
He's not.
those it's those things though that make dogs a little bit more loyal than some of these prissy dogs. I think been through some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just, does your dog prefer you? Like, does the Pekingese only prefer one family member?
She's anti couple.
Well,
And that's only because they're overly friendly. You know what I
yeah,
mean? As far as like wanting to pick her up and stuff like that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? She's like,
Do
I'm getting too old for this shit.
that. No, Yoshi, he I've never seen a dog more more anxious and attached to somebody than Yoshi is to my girl Emily. He's like the entire time if she leaves and it's just me here, I don't mean a thing to him, man. He's just like pacing
Oh
back and
man.
forth. He makes this he can't he makes this like mournful howl that's not really a howl, it's just like a and sometimes words
That's
noise
heartbreaking.
won't even come out.
That's heartbreaking.
It's it is just like will I ever be good enough for you, Yoshi? you
Was
know?
she the one that like did all the nursing back to health?
Yes, that's what she says too. I mean,
Oh,
I
there's a kitten.
yeah, I'm
Is that a
kind of
calico?
yeah. This is Dottie the Cackle.
Oh my goodness, Jess, come here.
We found her on the
Hurry
memes
up.
of
Look at
y'all.
this kitty. That's a good looking kitty right there.
She's
Say its name one more time.
this is Dot.
Oh, sheesh. Yep, I like her.
Yeah, she's I just mentioned that Yoshi's really
There's
yeah.
Dot's butthole. Woo-wee, Dot. Nice to know you.
Yeah, we found her. All of our cats are actually we found them or stole them. Who
You don't
knows?
find good looking kitties like that.
Um,
Most of them are the regular tabbies, you know what I mean?
yeah, which are
That's what
just
we
as good.
got. We got a regular.
They're just as good, chum. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So as Yoshi, as much as Yoshi's obsessed with Emily, Dot's obsessed with me. She can't. If I get on the telephone, she doesn't understand it. So it's constant meowing and it's something. Well, I mean, awe, but then when you're like trying to have a serious
Right.
conversation,
We
sometimes
took over the care of a calico. It was her sister's cat, about 10 when we got her. You know, she was up there, but she ended up being like she would sit right here on the top of wherever I was sitting and just be near me
Dot,
all the time. She was awesome. She would
that's
talk
Dot.
every time you said her name. She would respond.
That's Dot. And in fact, if I pretend that I don't it's there, I don't know if it'll work now. Dot, Dottie, Dot, Dot,
Oh, man.
Dot.
Uh,
Yeah, she
she's
got
like,
one.
I'm right here, bro.
She's like, bro.
That's dog behavior. You know what I mean? That's classic dog stuff. She's beautiful.
She's all right. All right. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't know what we were talking about previously about your work related stuff, but let me ask you this. What is your favorite part about what you do on a day-to-day basis?
I think my favorite part is probably explaining that to people with intellectual disabilities
Ryan
that they
Connell incoming.
uh-oh. This love fest right here.
Hey. Man, can you hear us? Making me
Hey, there you
sad.
are. Yeah.
All right, we'll wait for you to get your audio testes. I got to hear your voice, man. You're making me sad. Say something.
He's just gonna watch in silence. By the way, you did a horrible job of putting your kid to bed. I just saw her.
Oh, cat's out of the bag.
There we go.
Hey.
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm here.
There's Momo.
There he is. There's
Momo's
my pup.
handsome.
Hey, Ryan.
Yo, Loren, you
Hey.
look good.
You look fantastic too, buddy. I love you.
Hey, I love you too.
Yeah. I'm really digging the Dr. Teeth beard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's spot on. You were wearing a hat last time, I think. It's spot on.
Yeah.
Doc Electric Mayhem.
I should probably go get it. Actually, that's my
Before,
hat.
man.
Yeah,
That's your hat.
Yeah.
Someone you borrowed.
It's a nice hat, man.
It is a nice hat.
His son Charlie is the cutest. He's got the Ryan curls.
Is that him in the background?
Yeah, he's a cute little kid.
All right, Doc, this may or may not work, Cat.
Dude, she's so lovable.
Yeah, I think I'm warm. I think really that's the.
Get you a cardboard box sitting next to you, slightly smaller than the cat.
Yeah. All right, Doc.
Look at this
There-
cat.
there's-
What's the
there's
name?
Dr. Teeth ensemble.
Dot.
Doc.
D-O-T, right?
Oh,
Dot.
Dot.
Yeah, this is Dot. Yeah,
Dot.
this is Dot from Animaniacs.
She's
Yeah.
all over him, boy.
Dot
She's
meet
super
Momo.
sweet. Oh, Momo.
Oh, Momo.
That's a good dog. He's a trash getter, though. Momo will get you. He'll
Trying
get
to
you
eat
out of the
this.
trash.
He just tried to swallow his hair tie, so you know.
That's awesome. I called it.
You did. You definitely did. I mean, he's
My
10
big
years
dog's the
old.
same way, though.
He's 10 years old. He doesn't give up.
Nah, they're persistent.
So, before you came on, Chum was just mercilessly ripping into you, Ryan. It was horrible to listen.
Mm,
But one of the most
pretty
interesting,
terrible.
one of the most interesting things that came out of it. Oh, it was horrible. I mean, just vicious stuff.
Hey,
Anyway,
that's all right.
that
I was blown away by the stuff Lauren told me.
He didn't know that we knew each other.
Wait, what?
Like I thought you knew each other like from like scouts, and then like I don't know.
Well,
I had no
not-
idea you lived together.
yeah, we did for a year, and next to Cherokee Park. It's
Don't get so
beautiful.
upset with me that I didn't know.
On Behringer.
Yeah, on Behringer. Yeah, that's right.
Where's
And
that?
we-
Behringer.
Okay. Cherokee
named
Triangle area.
And we started a band together.
named Chumley.
Right, I didn't know you lived together at the time. Did you know that they had a band named Chumley? It's strange.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You knew.
Strange. It's
you
super
knew-
awesome.
You knew about Chum.
I did, but I didn't realize you lived together. I guess I just never like.
Yeah, I think that was after we got kicked out of Dave's house because they were tearing it down.
Was that the one on 403?
Oh yeah.
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 Pootie
the
Tang
real-
House.
Oh, dude, it was so awesome.
It Yeah, I
Pootie
remember-
Tang Thanksgiving.
Did you come over? Did you? I guess you didn't, Chum.
I was there for Pootie Tang. I'm telling you. I was
Oh, you
there
were there. Okay. Were you
Yeah.
there for the destruction of the house? Where
No.
you guys just ape shit and were swords?
Yeah, swords, and I remember Ian with the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
All right, so I need to walk through this.
Okay.
What? How did you first meet? What caused you to live together? Like what?
So I got Ryan pregnant. No,
Okay.
I
I told Lauren I thought you were just married. I didn't think you actually lived together.
It was unintentional. It was an accident.
Yeah. No, I think I know we must have met each other. Okay, so Dave is the linchpin, really.
Yeah,
Dave
he
Dave
is.
Boyd, which I really hope he joins later on. I'd like to talk to him.
Yeah, you
Um,
didn't, I'm texting him again.
All right,
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
let's just wait for your text then.
I honestly, Lauren, don't remember the first time I met you. I know Dave was the linchpin, and eventually part of the linchpin became Andy too.
Oh yeah.
So is Andy still joining us?
Yeah, he's
Oh, hell yeah.
you know, he said 11 p.m. my time, and I was like, man, are you sure? Because I don't know what time it is anywhere.
He's 7 hours ahead, I think, in
Yeah, I
Germany.
Googled it today. It was like 6 hours ahead of us. I was like, man, it's going to be 5 a.m.
Well,
But I
he's
think
at-
he works third shift.
So I ran around. I was really good friends with Dave Toy's. I forget his last name in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
I know a lot of Davids, so yeah.
Yeah. So Dave's. I was really good friends with Dave's brother, Isaac, growing up because we grew up in the same neighborhood. Dave
Right.
and I.
Church Street there, Andy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to have met Ryan when I was younger because I know that you used to stay over with Dave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We would have sleepovers twice a month, one at his, one at mine. Yeah.
Like
so
scheduled
no,
stuff.
No, not necessarily scheduled. At a certain point, I knew his phone number, so I just called him up and said, "Hey,
It's our Saturday.
yeah,
I'm getting the kids. It's my weekend.
You
Um,
promised you would take me out.
I mean, we must have met each other then, but I really got to know Ryan when Dave wanted to start playing music with a band. I think that was the thing. And so Dave, Andy, and I, we had the first band together called Big Bad Gazebo.
I
and
And
remember this name. Okay.
yeah, and
I played on a few Big Bag
yeah,
Gazebo
yeah.
tracks. Yeah,
Okay.
So yeah, and then we
I still have all of our CDs, by the way.
I do too. I do too.
I'm
They're
gonna need to hear
amazing.
this.
They're still amazing.
There's no
Yeah.
copyright. You don't have a copyright something on it. Nobody can claim it on YouTube for copyright, right? Nobody owns the rights to Big Bag Gazebo.
Well, except when we tried to cover Radiohead, then
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Um yeah, and so Big Bad Gazebo, that was the first band. It's funny because Big Bad Gazebo tends to come up quite a bit on my shuffle in my car. So especially the track "A Clown Goes to the Bathroom."
Oh, yeah. So that was the track that had the organ on it, right?
It had the organ and then the balloons being
Yes.
that was the joke. That's the sound of a clown going to the bathroom.
Were you there for that? I think it was just Andy, Dave, and I.
No, unfortunately, I was not there for that session.
So that session was recorded in my backyard at my parents' house.
In a gazebo?
No, but we did our best. We actually had a campfire going. We had a fire going in my backyard, and I had this 500-pound mini organ with a half pedal board that I
This in your backyard?
like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was in the garage, and so I brought an extension cord out, hooked everything up. We all three of us dragged the organ out to the campfire, which for some reason we put in the very farthest point of the yard.
Now, are we talking residential neighborhood here? Like, how close are neighbors?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my parents have a little less than quarter of an acre, so I mean, there was a little bit of space.
Don't brag.
People were hearing
But-
you play organ is all. Like, what I was saying.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sure everyone in the neighborhood was like, "What the hell is going on right now?"
Yeah, and then
But
somebody's
so that's
letting the air out of balloons.
that whole session, the balloon session, and I think we had we had a slide whistle and
Who had the balloons?
organ. Andy, I think.
Of course he
Andy,
did. Of course.
Yeah, I think it was Andy. We'll have to ask him when he comes back.
Yep. I bet he has one on camera.
Anyway, that's a side note. The downside was we had to drag the 500-pound organ back into the garage.
Yeah. I remember. It's
What
funny.
did you do for art?
Well, people say like, "Oh, it sucks to be the drummer because of all the equipment in a band."
Mhm.
I remember very clearly that huge amp that you drug around when in the Chumley days, the band Chumley days, that
Yeah.
you it was murder. The amp and then also the keyboard that weighed about 150 pounds. It felt like so.
Yeah, I mean they make it much lighter now. This is not a new model, but this is an RD 700GX Roland, and it's a nice keyboard, and it weighs maybe 60 pounds, so it's a lot better.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with an interlude if you want to tickle it.
No, I'm not gonna tickle it. I'm not ready to tickle it. All I have is Christmas music in my fingers, so yeah.
So I mean, yeah, with Ryan, and then we played music, and then they got kicked out, and Ryan and I lived on
When did the house on 403 happen?
What?
The house on 403. How did that come about?
Well, I think Dave and I wanted to. I can't remember if that was. I think that was after he lost his house. And yeah, that was.
No, it had to be before.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it might have been before. I'm not sure. My timeline is so messed up. After you have kids, it's just like you. But I think it was. I don't know when it was. At any rate, Dave and I decided I needed to get out of my parents' house, and I had the opportunity to do so as after being at U of L for a few years, and just wanted something different. After I left 403 with Dave, Loren and I moved into Behringer, and then I stayed in Louisville for the rest of my time, basically, until I moved to Colorado. Because once you move to Louisville, you can't go back.
Right.
That said, I mean, with respect, I mean, I know you're still in Southern Indiana, both you guys, and I respect that. I love that area and I miss it. I haven't been back in so long. It's been like 9 years.
It sucks that there's just no place for you to stay if you come back.
Oh man, I don't know anyone there.
All right, I know it's tough.
All right, so were you doing gigs?
Well, big
small time gigs.
Yeah, Big Bag Gazebo wasn't. There were no gazebo. Well, maybe no, there weren't. There was because Dave had a band.
Yeah.
Left.
Oh shoot, what was the name of that band? I still have their.
Was it Yardsy or something like that?
Yard Sale.
Yard Sale.
Yard
Yeah.
Sale.
Yeah. I went and saw them a few times. I liked them a lot.
I did too.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we started playing music, and then with Chumley we had a few gigs. We didn't have
mostly at the Rudyard.
Yeah, which just recently somebody bought it recently. Ryan is going to reopen it, by the way.
I mean, I always assumed he was dead, the owner. I loved him a lot.
Ken died. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's accurate. If not, I'm really sorry, Ken. But yeah.
I always loved Ken. He was amazing.
You assumed he was dead, though.
I did. Well, because when I saw him, he was already. I mean, when I knew him in that time, that early 2000s era, that was.
You're like, this dude's dead. He's on his way to death.
No, he still had all the life in him. He had the life, and I'm sure till the day he died.
Yeah, but it was fading.
Well, he was. Yeah. So it's funny, and then
just kidding,
for some
right?
reason, like Chumley just evaporated. I don't know why necessarily, because we all were friends with each other. But when you're in college and it gets busy, and it's funny because so Dave and Andy sort of planted the seed for me to meet Ryan, and then I met my other really good friends, Evan Palchek and Jeremy Perry from that meeting, and then this really sucks, but then like Ryan moved away and Evan moved away, and I was in a band called DeLoreans, and we ended up like actual going out and having some big gigs with folks.
Had some pretty big gigs.
Yeah,
I want to hear more about that.
Your stuff. I always listened to it.
Yeah, so it just stunk that y'all moved away, and then it ended up being something bigger. Yeah, and then that. Yeah, and
Buffalo,
then
right, was
I'm honestly not sure what happened with all that, and
pretty acclaimed.
It's part of my like. I'm not sure. I still have a lot of regrets about that period, but I don't have any regrets about the band, about Chumley and being in it. I mean, it was pretty fucking amazing.
No, it was absolutely fantastic. It gave me confidence,
Yeah.
Because I mean,
bands break up, and that's just what happens.
It takes some pretty big courage, though, Chum, because like the band Chumley was made up of all serious music majors who were studying, and then me, like.
I understand.
You remember all the practices that we had in the South Recital Hall at U of L?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was so much fun.
And then
Wow.
I actually, Chumley, I actually performed in Ryan's senior recital.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Really? This was
Yeah.
is this the orchestra piece he wrote, I believe, something like that? If I am I'm probably off base, but maybe not.
It was, yeah, it was. I did the spoken word section for it. I didn't play music for it. Um, of Ryan's adaptation, not adaptation, his tone poem, to use a classical term, his tone poem for Lenore, the Poe poem, his
Yeah.
tone poem. See, Ryan's smart. He took a poem and he made it a tone poem.
It's been done for 150 years.
Tone poem. He was
Like
the
it.
first person to do it. First person.
He found the hat.
He did that really quickly.
Yeah.
He's going to find his
That's
tapestries now. Oh,
That's
no.
awesome though, man. So DeLorean formed. You guys are playing.
What?
Oh man, check the Chumley shirt.
And yeah, there was
So good.
a different spelling of the name. We
Yeah,
know how to
Perfect.
We dropped the
spell
B.
your name. We know how to spell your name,
Yeah.
John.
I appreciate keeping me anonymous. You know what I mean?
This was actually designed by my friend Kenny Andriozzi that I worked with at Ear Ecstasy. Do you know Kenny, Lauren? You might have run into him a few
I
times.
do. No, I know Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's such a great guy.
Do you have an Ear Ecstasy
and
hoodie
he's-
on right now?
He sort of stole it from Andy Warhol, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is that an Ear Ecstasy hoodie?
Yeah, it is. I still have all my gear. You
He
got
did.
to.
My favorite thing about you working at Ear Ecstasy was you coming over to my house in Henryville with just ridiculous stacks of CDs of just the most random things ever. And it was like Congotronics and
Oh, dude, I still
Fantastic, man.
both Congotronics on vinyl.
it was like
You-
hours of listening.
You can't, and since Ryan's here, I can tell it to him just so he knows. But the amount of influence that Ryan had on my music taste is just astronomical. Because Chum, I don't need to tell you, but
Yeah.
it's a lot to me because you've definitely flavored what I like. Like you started the classical journey of me getting into stuff, and then you moved away. So then Jeremy continued on. So, but
Jeremy's a great guy.
he's a fantastic man. He's one of my best friends. But you should have seen. I can't even. So at our apartment, Chum, we didn't have enough. We couldn't buy racks for all of the music that Ryan owned. I mean, I owned a lot. I had like 200 CDs or something. That was like a lot. There were so many that around the perimeter of the living room, and I think up
I
into the
remember
hall.
that. Oh my God. That brings me back. I haven't thought about that since that time.
And
That
he
was
would come.
before Ryan changed his name to Connell when it was Columbia House.
Yes, Columbia House, right? They're all a penny. But he would
That's how
come
he got
in.
rid of that shit.
He would come in with like a stack
Yeah.
of CDs. He's just like,
Yeah.
I got these from the used bin or whatever. He may have been stealing them, Chum. I don't know.
No, I wasn't stealing them. I promise you, I was not.
Maybe that's why John Timmons had a
Disclaimer: he was not
No.
stealing.
I was not stealing. Big because we got used CDs at a quarter of the cost, and
Right.
sometimes 10% of the cost based on what it was. And so
Yeah, how much was they charging for
I wasn't being
Congotronic?
paid a lot at Ear Ecstasy, but I was very capable of throwing down $10 every shift to come
Right.
back with a stack of CDs or a couple records.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Ryan, when you left, and please forgive whoever took over from you, but the classical section, it went way downhill.
Well, I mean, I have. I was actually kicked out of the classical section because I kept ordering shit that I wanted to listen to.
Fair
And
enough.
John Timmons, the owner, and I still love him. And John is such a great guy, and excuse me, musical influencer in Louisville. He's on what WFPK now,
Mhm.
and has been for a long
Say
time.
his name again.
John Timmons. He's a great guy, but he had a sort of a different mindset about like how we should stock classical, and it should be just all the biggest stuff and the stuff that sells, the stuff that gets over 6 sales a week, and ultimately, I graciously backed out of that, and I was never mad at John for that. I was like, okay, I totally get it. It's not what you need. I still work there, and I'm still an influencer in a way. But the guy who took over was Jason Noble, who was one of my best friends.
Jason's great. Sorry, Jason.
Yeah, I know. Like I was like, I still to this day, whenever I talk about him, bring him up, I like start crying. At any rate,
Holy hell, there he
Hey,
is.
speak of the devil.
he's connecting audio. Wait.
Let's see you. Hello, Andy. He's beautiful.
He is gorgeous.
I see. His computer doesn't have a microphone.
Mm. Hey, that's okay. This feels a little Buster Keaton-y. Let's do it.
Oh, he's gonna start.
Did you just put a earpiece in?
Yeah, but that's just his normal earpiece. Great.
Dude, it's so good to see him. That was worth it.
I haven't seen you in so long.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there's a scratch. All right,
I can tolerate some more.
Oh, there's a ceiling. It's a good looking ceiling.
Hello, Reginald.
Guten Tag.
If the rest
Yeah, I hope so.
Guten Tag.
I hope he doesn't even say a word ever. And it's just this.
Oh, headphone wire. Wait, I think he's at. Oh, okay. Shh.
Should I start with German? No,
Oh,
that's probably a bad idea. Wie geht es Ihnen?
He's
No?
trying.
No. Okay.
I believe it may be 5 a.m. where Andy is. So he
That's-
may be
that's-
asleep right now.
That's about how I look at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this No, wait, I gotta.
Go pee.
No, I just did. I'm gonna get another water.
Another urge? What?
Andy M. Man, it's good to see both of them.
It is amazing to see both of them.
Lauren's cat, I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, you did. Dot. That's a beautiful cat.
It's a beautiful cat.
Oh. Should we keep talking, Andy, so you can know if you can hear?
We were just talking about the campfire sessions. I don't know if I want to start with that.
How big of an organ are we talking here?
Oh, it was just like one of those, have you ever been to the thrift store and seen an organ that has like half a keyboard on top, half a keyboard in the middle, and some buttons and half a pedal board?
Yes.
That's the organ.
So super heavy.
Super heavy. The stuff you do not want to
We
haul
couldn't
out.
hear you, Andy.
Can't hear you, buddy.
I thought you were talking.
You're still beautiful.
We're in no rush, dude. Take your time. Just if we
Wanna-
can do something, feel free to.
I want to ask Loren about his books.
I want to hear more about the DeLoreans, though, dude. Like, it blows my mind that, like,
Oh, they
he
were
had some
they were big.
international success, I believe.
Yes, they were. They were.
I want to hear how that happens. There he is.
Where did Andy go?
He's. I don't know what he's doing. So tell us about the DeLoreans and how you go from playing random gigs to bigger gigs to, hey, people are listening to this song somewhere else.
Well, I think that Jeremy Perry wrote some really good songs, to be honest. And well, not to be honest, it's just how it went.
Yeah.
We got some good local radio play on WFPK, which we're grateful for. We made friends with a lot of the DJ. Um, we were able to save up money to get some actual vinyl press albums, which
Didn't Jeremy start working for a vinyl press?
yeah, actually it's yeah, he recently quit there. He was doing the side of things, like actually not the production side, the mastering side of things, because
So
mastering is different than
yeah.
Okay,
but yeah,
dumb question. Where's a vinyl pressing company right now?
well, we can go to one if you want a tour. There's
Yes.
there's not a whole lot around actually. We're weirdly enough, we have one in Shepherdsville, Kentucky.
Huh.
Yeah,
Never knew.
my friend Dash, who has the second coolest name to Chum, uh, he works there, so he presses vinyl all day long, and I've got to go over there several times. It's
Awesome.
pretty neat.
I would have not never known, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, people, I guess, just like the music. We were able to get into some music festivals that asked us to come and play. We played Forecastle, not on a main stage or anything, but I think that we were just really really nice, and then had some, I think, pretty good music,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
we just got in. Yeah, we played with They Might Be Giants, which was fun. It's
Wow,
really random.
that's huge.
Uh,
I didn't realize that.
That's amazing.
yeah. I don't know. It was just really fun. The drummer in the band, Meg, who is I love her dearly. She's one of my best friends too. Emily, my girl, is her sister, so I got something extra special out of that. He
Nice. My wife.
he he ended up working for WFPK, which was pretty cool. So playing around, but I don't know. It was really it was just really fun to
It
play.
sounds to me like you put yourself in the right position to accomplish that. Really, I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like okay, we
We
wrote
don't
some
have
songs. Now I got to work at a radio station, and I'll get them songs played. Then I'll make friends with vinyl guy, get vinyl made.
right. Well, we just don't.
That's great.
We don't have any ego, and I think that goes a long way because Ryan knows from being around musicians all of his life that you know when somebody doesn't have ego about music, it makes a huge difference. Like people want
It
to
really
work.
does.
You found that more in the
Well,
classical. I assume that's more prevalent in the classical realm than is
No,
anything else. No.
no, I mean, in the classical realm, usually, in my experience, obviously Ryan's the expert here, and they seem to be more insecure, especially choir majors,
yeah,
about their ability.
I would say most classical musicians are fairly insecure, and woefully insecure. And I would put myself in that category as well. But the other thing in the classical realm that I'm sort of butting heads against right now after going, getting my master's at CU Boulder, and I studied with Carter Pan and Daniel Kellogg and big composers who Carter Pan, he was finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. I mean, it's just like these are people that I like in the classical world that I would love to study with, and I did, but
Charlie.
I come out of it with.
Hey,
He always finds the right moment.
yeah. Well, Andy just popped in too, which was odd, and then he left.
I will finish that conversation later because honestly, I don't want to jump out while Andy's here. I think they're like getting up the
Hey,
nerve
Lyra.
high because they're about to go to bed.
Good
Yeah,
night,
they're just
Lyra.
staying up.
Good night, Charlie. You look sleepy.
Meet my friends. Okay, so this, Justin. You've met Justin. Come on. This is my friend Loren.
Hey, how's it
Lyra,
going?
you know the band Chumley that I play for you sometimes? Yeah. Loren played guitar wrote songs, and sang in the band. Chumley. That's Loren right there in the blue shirt.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh,
this is-
hi.
This is my friend Andy Merriman. You know where he is? He's in Germany right now.
Really?
You were just learning about Germany.
Was I?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, on social. Well, okay, that might be a problem.
Can we hear you, Andy? Can you say hello, Andy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yay!
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
I bet that
Really?
wasn't frustrating at all, Andy. That was...
No, it was fine.
What time is it over there?
Around 5 in the morning.
Wow. It's about that here.
why do you want to talk to us? I won't feel bad if you want to lay down.
This is about what time I usually wake up in the morning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm.
So you're 75 years old now.
Yes.
Well, nice.
I have
Thanks
to,
thanks for joining.
I get up at 4 in the morning typically, and I leave at about 5:30.
Oh, wow. Super early first shift it is then.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow.
that sounds horrible.
It's fine.
How's Lena?
She's fine. We're all fine here now. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. The new bunny. It's a good looking bun.
Yeah, we have a new rabbit. The old one, the first
Is he
rabbit we had was named Snoopy because we had him for a few days and we got him a little house and he slept on top of the house, so we named him Snoopy. The new rabbit spent the first couple days on the toilet, so we thought about naming him Elvis.
I love it. I love it.
But we went with Merlin because he's got like a beard.
But we went with Merlin.
He didn't perform magic.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That is fantastic. How old is Merlin?
What?
How old is Merlin? Fairly new bunny?
Yeah, 3 or 4 months. They
That was
weren't
it.
really, I mean, the woman at the store said 3 months, but I think she was just kind of throwing a dart.
Right.
We're going to believe that, but they
We'd
didn't
like,
have any paperwork or anything.
we'd like to buy the rabbit. We have a rabbit?
It's one of those social transactions that we just accept.
Oh, Charlie, you're so handsome.
Yeah, I got to get this boy to bed. Andy, I'll be back in.
Good night, Charlie.
He has to. I got to read him a book.
Bye.
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 Talk
I'll
to
be
you
back.
later.
Good night.
Start the song, Lauren.
What is up with Ryan?
The hell was that?
Are those his children?
That's not his dog, I'll tell you that.
I had my suspicions.
So, Andy, remind us what it is you do at 5 a.m.
I built scaffolding,
Okay, yeah, I remember this. Okay.
so it has to be during the daytime.
Is it
There are
daytime
no-
at 5 a.m.? Or do you get there and just have to wait?
In the summer, it's daytime at 5 a.m.
Oh. So the winter, like you work half days because you just hang out?
No, we still work it. Get up at that time.
Gotcha. Daylight savings. Do you guys have that?
Yeah, we have that. The whole world has it except for most of Indiana.
Yeah, it's true.
That is true. That's strange. I apologize on behalf then.
Have you heard about the coronavirus over here, Andy?
That,
I
What?
honestly have a genuine question. Like, have you literally heard about the hacking today of our entire country, apparently?
I saw a blurb.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got a McAfee alert about it.
I didn't do it. I know that much.
It's a little concerning, but, you know,
Well,
McAfee's
What are you
got
gonna
us.
do? Huh?
what are you gonna do?
Fire up
I-
Norton. Norton and McCaffrey got to get together on this one.
Yeah.
Fire up those walls.
Yeah, so Germany, man.
Yeah, how is the political stance there at the moment?
I hate politics.
We're gonna talk about it. So
I know more about what's going on in America than I do about Germany.
um,
Any
Because
forced
America
lockdowns
right
or
now
anything,
is
though?
so nuts and everything.
it's
Everything's
interesting.
crazy over there. So that's even like on the radio over here. That's all they talk about too. Just what's going on in America because it's sexier.
Well, I mean, it's spreading because it sounds like you.
That might not be
some-
the right word.
It sounds like some Germans are like getting some ideas now. I've seen the anti-mask rallies and stuff. We're just horrible. We
It's
hate
the
our
whole.
country.
It's the whole. It's the whole world is dumb.
Yeah.
How's your anxiety about it?
Good night, folks. Good
Yeah.
night.
My anxiety is fine.
Out of sight, out of mind type thing? It hasn't affected your ability to work or anything?
My anxiety for the coronavirus? No.
I mean, has the virus itself affected your ability to go to work consistently?
We have to wear masks
Oh no.
nonstop, which is not good, and because it's so strenuous the work. But
Yeah.
we do it.
Sexually, how are you dealing with that?
About wearing a mask?
Yeah. I'm actually doing better.
That's awesome.
Uh,
So we're trying to relive the 403 house days and how that came
Yeah.
about. Ryan tried to explain the timeline, and here there he is. Hey, Charlie. But
Good night,
did you move in with Dave? Did you live there? When did you guys move in together at the same time?
Dave and Ryan lived there. I was a visitor.
Good night, Lyra.
This would have been 2003, I think.
Okay. So you put a date on it. That's perfect. I appreciate that.
Yeah, if you would have seen it, Chum, you wouldn't have lived there either, man. It wasn't bad. Although I do remember Ryan like, I gotta go. Can you go grab this from upstairs? Because that's where Ryan lived. And I went upstairs, and in the middle of the room was just a bare mattress. That's the only thing in the room. Like it was clean, like it wasn't soiled, but it was like, are you here against your will? Like it's Dave got something on you that we don't know about. Anyway, let's talk about spoilers for Mandalorian, Andy. All right.
Did you watch it?
No, because I'm doing this because I love you guys more than watching the finale of Mandalorian.
I watched it.
I think the tables have turned.
Yep.
I have not watched it yet, so please, we're at your mercy. I will say this though, when Grand Admiral Thrawn, it was
That's
it's really-
a reference to another show they did. Have you been watching all the shows?
There's more
No.
shows?
all of the shows.
The animated show.
Oh, because Thrawn's in that.
It's not just that Thrawn's in it. There's something bigger about that with regards to Ahsoka.
Oh no, which show?
Rebels.
Okay, now I
But
gotta.
you have to watch Clone Wars before you watch Rebels.
Yeah, this is the thing that we always would get into, Andy. there's always there's
But you don't
pre-
have to. I mean, you can watch Rebels. I mean, it's not like to be confused or anything.
Well, it's just like I told you before.
What should I do?
I'm gonna watch the last episode of Lost. I don't need to see any of the
I'll
stuff.
send you a Google Docs with the correct order to watch everything.
Okay. What was the was it Machete Order? That's what they were calling it. The Star Wars films. Like,
Yeah.
I made a really good joke that I think was underappreciated on Twitter.
I remember this.
Right, where I threw in the DVDs you were so nice to give me, the Ewoks animated series, and drew and asked where they fit in the Machete Order, and I think you're the only person that liked it.
I don't understand it, so I can't.
That's all right.
But I do want the order so I can watch. I haven't seen any of the animated.
It's
So-
just watch Clone Wars and then watch Rebels if you're gonna watch them.
Okay.
That's it. There's also another cartoon called Resistance, which is not really connected to the other ones at the moment.
It's about not wearing masks.
It's not as good, but it's
Yes,
fine.
on that.
Is Bill Burr also in it?
No,
Did he seem out of place to you?
but Paul F. Tompkins is.
Oh. I don't think that Burr seemed out of place. I liked it. It was like you picked somebody from a 90s sitcom and threw them in there. Which I'm fine
Lawrence.
with. What'd you say?
Joey Lawrence. He's just there for the whoa. You know.
How about Martin Lawrence? I'd watch that show.
I
They
think in
still
the
have
first appearance he kind of threw me off, but then the return, I was really cool with it then.
Yeah, he did great with that. Andy, have you watched What We Do in the Shadows?
Nope, I've seen clips of it.
Okay. Chum, I don't think anybody's going to get this thing about Ryan. I'll tell him when he comes back in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it now. I have seen the movie, and the movie is great, and that's why I haven't seen the series because I assume the series would just ruin the movie.
It's actually it's fine. It's fine. It's
Oh, were you asking about the movie or the series?
Either. It's fine.
I've eaten the breakfast cereal.
You're eating the breakfast cereal right now?
I have eaten it.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, don't spoil it. Can we get
Dude,
that?
nope.
Is that something they still sell? Is that a Frankenberry line?
Hey, Chum, you've got
Yes.
kids. Andy and I don't. Ryan's got kids too. What's the weirdest thing your kids are into?
That we know of, Lauren.
Well, that we know of, yeah.
Weirdest thing they're into?
Well, I mean, like food-wise, is there?
They're typical kids. I mean, really. I mean, the older ones like the seaweed and whatnot. They had
Sugar.
yeah, they had teriyaki chicken and rice for dinner. So they're pretty standard kids. They're not weird in that aspect. Behavior-wise, that's where they shine.
What a treat!
Oh,
What a treat!
there are pleasures.
What is the I actually wrote down questions to ask all you guys. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, Chum, but
Oh, I want to hear them.
because I haven't seen you guys in such a long time. You just look at your kids sometimes when they do something, and you like your brain shuts off because it's so stupid. And can you give an example?
Ooh, Jess, you might have to help me on that. I think most of those reactions come when they have them because they're failing to comprehend something that seems very basic, like the blank stare, like one step away from just slobbering look that they give you will just baffle me sometimes over the simplest like commands. Hand me this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those, it's like you can literally see the brain just stop.
Right.
So
And-
those get to me. It's fun.
Yeah. And another question I had for you is, you've told me before everybody got on here that having kids was the biggest regret in your life. Do you want to clarify that now that everybody's on the call?
I have to recant. But
No, you
it's only
seem
because
like
Jess is present.
you genuinely seem like a wonderful father, and I can't imagine having Justin Chumley as my father.
Right?
Every morning.
I can.
We We tried it out for 6 months, I believe it.
Yeah.
That's why Andy left. He went to Germany.
Andy now lives on the other side of the globe.
I can't be Chum's bully no more.
Right. It's basically just as you would imagine it, really. We try to, it's weird all the time. And
No, I mean it seems like you guys genuinely love each other and have fun. Like
yeah, that's been the pleasure of the bubble, really. The quarantining, like we've been here in this house. Like I don't think I've left in months. You know what I mean? Like, really, we haven't been in the grocery store since March. Like,
wow.
no joke.
You
Everything
guys
we get's delivered.
you
So
guys
we're here. All the kids are online school. So it's been just us here in this domicile, and it's been fucking pretty nice.
that's great that you can do that.
Yeah, like I'm super thankful for it, but it's a good time. Like just having them around and be able to like joke with them at all hours of the day and not have any like, oh, you got to get up for school at a certain time, so I can't bother you. Like, no, I'm going to wake you up and bother you.
Do you think your kids are learning the same amount as they were? Let me finish. Do you think your kids are learning the same amount as not as going to school versus staying with
So we
y'all?
have a gap in age. We have two
Right.
older. We have 13, 12, and then 8 and 5.
You got to leave her alone, man.
Well,
Okay.
the
If
5-year-old
no one
is,
ever leaves, how do you ground them?
we don't really do that. Like I couldn't tell you the last time my kids were in trouble.
That's not how you treated me.
Well, I can't. We'll speak off air.
I bet his kids don't have a curfew either, Andy.
Yeah, as long as you're inside the house that you're in by.
The curfew is you have to come out of the basement
Right.
at a certain time.
But yeah, the youngest one is hard. Teaching phonics and stuff is not something it's not our skill set. So it's more of a challenge to us than it is, her inability to be where she's at, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think she's doing great, but at the same time, I think in-person school has its benefits for the younger, you know what I mean? Somebody who's specialized to do it, you know what I'm saying? But the older ones I think the older ones realized how much time they wasted in public school, and like, I can be under a blanket and knock this stuff out in 2 hours and then have the rest of the day to myself.
I mean, it really is so much filler, it seems. Like, I mean, when we were in high school, there was just so much junk that was just filler.
Yeah.
Math, English. Ugh.
And they're able to get the social interaction the same way they were then, which is virtually anyway. I mean, they would be at school Snapchatting each other from 3 feet away from one another. You know what I mean? It's the same. Nothing
Yeah,
changed.
you bring up a good point. I've not heard anybody talking about that because they're like, kids have never seen screens before. They're just gonna get
Right.
I mean, that's.
Yeah, my kids are just like connected. You know what I mean? They're Bluetooth things together and talking to whoever they want to, whenever they want to.
I will genuinely be very angry if after this whole thing is over, if it ever is over, if we go back to like in-person meetings for everything.
Yeah.
The thought of I would drive an hour or 2 hours away to sit in a room with people.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's so stupid. Like there's
awful.
no reason. Yeah, like there's just not a reason. I don't need to see your meaty face.
Yeah.
In person.
If you look at the overhead
Spell
spent
your
to
meaty.
supply those facilities, dude, it doesn't make any sense at all economically to continue that.
Yeah.
I think this is really showing people if they are able to make it work this way, then there's no reason to go back to an old way.
That's really interesting about about your older kids kind of coming to that conclusion.
Yeah, they
I think
they enjoy their time. Their free time is important to them, so they prioritize and get their shit done. They all like highest grades you can possibly obtain, and then go about their business and do what they
B.
want. Yeah, minuses. Just a minus. It's not even a letter.
it's just really odd to me, the whole like you can learn at your own pace,
Yeah,
like that's okay. And you don't need to be there in person for every single thing that you're doing. In fact, you might learn better when you're not in person.
yeah. I mean, Jessica's taking a class right now through Ivy Tech. You know, what I mean, same, it's literally the same thing. You know, what I mean, there's no difference.
Yeah.
You don't need brick and mortar stuff as old school. That's so 2019. One day we'll have virtual scaffolds.
That'd be nice. If I could Zoom into
Right.
work.
Scaffolds at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, Chum, that we can talk about the work that we do that's just, virtual.
Yeah.
And Andy actually does real work.
I know. It's almost embarrassing that, like, I'm ashamed to go out in the world, and then he's like, "You guys are." He's a man.
M-A-N.
Yeah.
E. He's a Maine.
Much respect, Andy, for your
Thank you.
manliness.
Thank you.
What about
That's
the
the
wife?
first
What does
time
she do?
anyone's ever complimented me on my manliness.
Well, it's fitting.
That is not true. You look handsome and manly.
You read all those books you got behind you, Loren?
Do you want me to go through each one and tell you like a synopsis?
No, I didn't. That came off as more aggressive than I meant to.
It came off very aggressive.
I'm genuinely curious.
If I've read all of these?
Yeah. Or are they just for show? And tell.
On this shelf here, I've read most of them. There are some books of Emily's that are about the justice system that I've not read yet. And then up here, there's a bunch of philosophy stuff that I have not read yet. That is Emily's. Emily she has her bachelor's in philosophy, and then she went to law school, which I think's pretty cool. So there's a lot of stuff that she has that I'm trying to read a lot more of. She has a lot of poetry too. So I don't know if you wanted a serious answer to that, but it is a mixture.
I leaned forward to try to see him better for some reason. It didn't really work.
Yeah. No, it's a solid mixture.
Should we call the police for Ryan?
This one's mine. It's not Emily's. Also, I have a book that Andy gave me right here. Seinfeld aptitude test, not attitude test. So Andy, I don't know that I told you this or not. This book actually, it's not worth like a lot of money. Maybe 50. No, but it apparently was really controversial, this book, because they didn't get the copyright rights.
I know it's an unauthorized book.
Yeah, but they were sued, and there was a big, huge lawsuit about it.
Really?
Yeah. And the questions are really hard. You like Seinfeld, Chumley?
Yes, sir. How did you score?
Oh, I've seen all of them probably a couple times, but I did horribly. Horribly.
A lot of Albanian questions in there and shit.
There are some Banyan questions in here.
I haven't watched the show in a long time, so I don't know how I would do.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been a while.
we'll ask you a question. What is Elaine's all-time movie? Is it Rochelle, Shaft, Lawrence of Arabia, or Hitler, The Last 10 Days?
I don't know. I don't think it's Rochelle. That was in an episode, but that was like a movie they made up for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say Shaft.
I guess it would have been Lawrence of Arabia.
All right. I don't understand how this book works. So you have to give me a second on.
You
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
sure.
you have to fill it in and then send it in to the
Wait,
grading council.
wait, this is level 4. Question number 30.
And in the Scantron here.
Shaft.
Shaft.
Shaft is her favorite film.
I got it right.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a thrilling rest of the show.
What would
I was
play
under
Seinfeld for you?
the impression that this was a California Raisins fan podcast.
Oh, it is. Every podcast we do secretly is a California Raisins fan podcast.
Please show us your collection.
They're in transit.
I thought you would have some.
I had one readily available, but it's not.
It's not readily available.
It's what's in a trunk in the living room. The trunk used
It's
to be in here,
available.
but it's the microphone one that's like with the bow tie. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember Hardy?
I'm just sad that I didn't have the name to.
What?
Oh, you mean Tex or whatever.
So what is wasn't Hardy's the place that you could get the California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Sr.
Yeah.
They were created by Will Vinton for his claymation style, which is a term that he trademarked as an ad campaign for Hardee's.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
And now he's a billionaire.
He died a few years ago.
But he died a billionaire.
How is your creative side going there, Andy? Are you still doing any?
Not at the moment.
No?
Not really.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed some Gordon Universe, man. Been a while.
It has been a while.
Mm-hmm. Last I recall, you had bought a digital pen type setup. Do you still use that at all?
No. Every time I have 2 digital pens, but I have problems with the technology side of it.
You don't have to use both of them at once, Andy.
Yeah, I do. We upgraded the laptop, and my version of Photoshop that I've been using for the last 20 years doesn't work anymore. And so I downloaded GIMP, which is open source, but I don't know how to use it. When I was in the US, David showed me, and then I came back and I forgot what he showed me. I tried for 5 minutes. I probably should have put 10 minutes into it.
GIMP is not intuitive, and people who try to tell you that, they're like, it's just like Photoshop. It's not. It's a completely different program.
Yeah, I've never met him.
GIMP.
He does a good job. He tries.
Right. Watercolor kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, where is Ryan, by the way?
I called the police, so hopefully they should. He's there somewhere. There he is.
There he is. There he goes. Oh, he's got the light turned off. Oh, he
Little
put
ones
his
are a process.
shorts on. Business shorts.
He's
All
getting
right.
down to
Oh
business
no.
short.
He's gonna come back on and say it's Ryan After Dark. He's turning off lights.
So Andy, how do you spend your free time when you got free time?
I don't have any free time.
They go hiking. It's very nice. It makes me very jealous.
Oh, I do. Yeah. We go hiking
Nice.
on weekends, and I watch TV a little bit.
What's
That's always nice.
What's your recent content that you've been, other than the final episode of Mandalorian that you won't spoil for us? But
Nothing.
nothing.
Let me think. I watch Mandalorian, and then I watch people reacting to it on YouTube.
Nice. I was saying that the
Overfed.
last time I was talking with Ryan. There's not enough content for me. I can't. It's hard to watch stuff that's pre-COVID for me. I feel like I consumed a lot of stuff anyway, and I'm running out of content to consume. It's really concerning for me.
I want to do reactions to reactions.
I'd watch it. I feel like I need to.
Emily and I started watching Cheers, so that's where we're at as far as
I did too, but I didn't get very far. It was so confusing.
What's a bar? Who are these people?
I enjoyed it, but I'll start something and then just stop watching it.
The first season, the first couple episodes, I laughed incredibly hard because it's so well written, and it's
And they're actually shooting it in front of an audience, which I think makes a difference.
Yeah. I just remember my Cheers
I
memories
didn't know that.
when I would go to bed.
They say it at the top of every episode, Chumley. God.
Yeah, but so did Family Ties and stuff. Like that was like the thing to say before the episode. I just assume it was all lies.
Maybe it is.
Was
Catch me up.
News
What's
Radio
going
before
on?
a live audience?
Oh, we were talking about Cheers.
Awesome. Where everyone knows your name.
That's right.
What was the female barkeep?
Diane.
Rita Wilson, but I don't know the character's name.
Yeah, we were defining you as Rita Wilson.
Me?
You weren't
Hey.
here.
Oh, that's fair. I love Rita Wilson. Are you kidding me?
All right. Wait. So Ryan, I'm going to tell you this, but I have to get the actor's name here first.
You should be able to screen share. I don't know what device you're using, but
It's a rotary phone.
you could. Oh, okay. Well,
Wait a second. Wait, I gotta get the actor's name here. So I've been talking
Think a
about.
rotary phone.
Yeah.
That's
Wait a
awesome.
second. Let's see here. All right. So this is not video here. Let me find the actors' names. The actors' names. He's got multiple. I'm gonna try to screen share. I don't know.
are you looking in that Seinfeld book?
No, I'm not looking. I'm looking at my phone
Oh.
for the Mark Proch. All right.
Who are you looking up?
I'm looking up an actor to tell Ryan the story about that you guys have both heard now, Chumley twice. So,
no. Feel free. Let's move on.
No, I want to hear him tell you.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
Okay.
I want to hear what lies he's
I was-
embellished since the last time he told it.
So
Telephone game.
I was watching the last episode with Dave in the dining room, and Emily was just walking by like it was just on, and she didn't know what I was watching, and she heard your voice, Ryan, and she thought that I was that I was watching like a not a celebrity podcast, but just like a pod with the actor Proch. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Yes, maybe from What We Do in the Shadows.
You're talking about Daniel Proust.
No. Daniel Proust. So she said, "Is that What We Do in the Shadows talking?" And it was you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay. Yeah, I've had that comparison made before, actually. That is totally true. I love that show.
You've had that.
Okay,
comparison
no,
made
that's.
before?
Well, I didn't know,
Yeah.
whether to compare you to somebody who's called the energy vampire. But Chum's sharing a screen.
Yeah, I was trying to find it.
Well, I mean, I think that's, I could be described in worse terms than an energy vampire.
Right? No, but it's
One of
it's-
these guys.
Yeah, it's the guy on the far right. His name is, and you have to get video. It's the voice. It's not the look, because Ryan right now looks like we mentioned before, Andy. He's very much in Dr. Teeth mode with
I love that show because it's my favorite characterization of Nosferatu since Murnau. I love it.
So you
I'm
have
a
to
big
find
okay. I'm a big Murnau fan. I can't help it. Continue.
No, oh, that's great. Anyway, that's the story. It's a very interesting one. It's enthralling.
So I guess I have a unique voice.
Yeah, it's yeah. I guess so.
Yeah.
I was like, I pulled it up and we watched a clip of him talking, and spot on. But hey, man, at least people don't. I get Steve Zahn a lot.
Mm.
A lot. When I moved to Indianapolis, or outside the Indianapolis area,
You live in
would
Indianapolis?
get stopped in gas stations, and people would ask me if I was the guy from Daddy Daycare, because apparently in Indianapolis, that's a part of their culture. Not that thing you do.
Strange culture. It's
Well, it's weird, the Steve Zahn connection, because like I had short hair for a really long time, I have long hair now, but then Steve Zahn would grow out his hair at the same time. So Andy lives in Lexington now.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has horses.
Oh.
Don't know what he does with them.
You know all these
Did you
things
sell 'em
because
to
people
South
tell you
Korea?
when they spot you, right?
Yeah. No, but people would, not so much down here, but in Indianapolis, they would genuinely think that I was who's like 10 years older than I am.
I don't know who he is.
Steve Zahn's been in every movie since 1997, pretty much.
I have seen those.
Get it, Steve Zahn. Look,
As a content consumer, you have definitely seen Steve Zahn.
Yeah,
you've
there's a
absolutely,
blockbuster.
yeah.
I'll check that out. Here's a
Hey,
movie-related question. Do you
yeah.
think my older
Oh,
Oh my
Is that
gosh.
dude, is that
That's a
the
He-Man.
original series?
I don't think so.
Turn
that
it
There
around.
are 12 characters on the back.
Okay, so it's a 12 back.
It's like maybe second series or something.
Dude,
holy shit!
fantastic. Jesse has a look at this. He-Man, classic He-Man, still in package. It's mint.
And not wearing pants.
Fucking
That's
beautiful.
rare. That's not rare.
Well,
You know how I got this?
no, but I want to hear it.
My parents bought it for either my brother and I for Christmas and lost it in their closet until like 20 years later.
That's amazing.
I love it.
I'm glad it wasn't a puppy.
Ha!
It's the
That
weird
would-
thing is me and
Corey.
just randomly watched a YouTube clip of the show Pawn Stars with that same toy on it, and Pawn Stars offered him $600.
It's
Mhm.
chum. It's pronounced porn.
Is that
Yes.
legible?
It's
Ben
Pawn Hub, I
Franklin.
think. Pawn Hub.
Is that KB Stores?
Ben Franklin in
Oh,
Charlestown
Ben Franklin. Nice.
for $4.97.
I was a frequent shopper of Ben
Expensive.
Franklin.
Me too.
Really? I want to hear about that.
Well,
Ben Franklin.
our neighborhood was
I don't
right,
think where was
right
it?
behind it.
In
Ben Franklin in
Charlestown?
Charlestown, yeah.
Yeah.
It was where the JC store used to be.
Yeah.
It was part of that block of shows. They turned it into a Radio Shack.
Coast to Coast and Ben Franklin.
That's right.
Yeah, we would
Wow.
we played in that field right behind it all the time, so we would walk over there and get like kite string and wiffle balls and various
What was the name of the video store that was down the street from there?
movies to
Movies
go.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude.
And Larry's TV.
Dave and I would walk there all the time. I'm sure all of you guys did too.
Yeah.
Those were some golden moments of my youth.
They found
I peed in the
sidewalk.
floor of cash and carry as a kid.
Yeah, the cash and carry. Yep.
Yeah, rented.
Peed my pants in there and peed on the floor.
Why? Was it a protest?
Because Because I couldn't decide on a Nintendo game to rent.
That's not a typical reaction.
I was trying to hurry, dude, and I couldn't hurry no more.
So you peed on the floor.
Yeah, and then I rented my game. I think I ended up like grabbing one
had a
at
good
random,
night.
and I'm almost positive it was fucking Bayou Billy.
Oh, dude, yeah, Bayou Billy. There you
The
go.
worst fucking game ever. Like,
Oh, I think I rented that
hardest.
there too at some point.
That's an incredibly
Hopefully
hard
before
game.
you.
yeah, the bad
Dude,
part is the people who
Bayou
owned it, the
Billy.
Roberts, they lived right down the street from me. So I stood in front of like their mom with pee pants and rented Bayou Billy for $2.13. You know what I mean? Like I had
10
exact change.
cents.
I'm pretty
2.10.
sure the change was wet. The dollars were wet because
Oh,
they were in my
dude.
pee pocket.
That's bringing it back. 210. Yeah.
2.10.
That's how much it cost. Oh, I haven't.
213.
And,
With a
Wow.
pee pocket.
and at Movies to Go, remember you could take in 10 of your receipts and you can get a free rental.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That-
it would
that
blow
was a
your
gl- that
mind when
was
they had
always a
Hawaiian
golden
shaved
moment.
ice outside.
Yeah. 10 receipts, a kiss for the clerk, and you got a free movie.
We scored a
David
bunch
and
of
I-
porn from there out of their dumpster as kids.
Wow. As
Uh,
children.
VHS boxes, not actual porn, just the boxes.
That
It was
was
enough, man.
Because you didn't do much else. I mean, that was like.
And we buried them in our clubhouse.
Did you
For
take the
safekeeping.
plastic off first?
No, they were just like empty sleeves, VHS sleeves. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay. So you're not talking about like the complete case.
But a few weeks underground, it'll work.
wow.
Fantastic. So I should probably edit that out, not admit to peeing my pants and
No, that's what
burying porn.
Well, I buried a lot of Star Wars figures very stupidly.
Eric
So I
Beckley?
mean, I had in my youth when I was like 6 years old, I got a string of Empire Strikes Back Star Wars figures, and I immediately opened them up and played with them for a few months, and then decided it was a good idea to bury them by the evergreen tree. I don't know why.
Are they still there?
Yes, they are, but they're not worth anything now because they've been underground for 20 years. So,
You don't know that. You don't know.
well, I guess I found a master restorer or something.
I was never like a firecracker blow up my guys kind of person. I threw them in trees. I would throw them up into trees to see if I can get them stuck, but that was about the extent of it.
Mm.
I think Andy and like would sexually assault his toys. I believe. We all did something weird.
I buried a bunch of my toys as well.
It was a thing. I don't know why. Why did you bury your toys?
I could not tell you.
I can't tell you either.
So
For
they
some
would
reason.
bloom.
Yeah, it just felt right to put Han Solo to bed for eternity.
Yeah, it's I guess it's an odd impulse. I don't. Chum, do your
Was
kids?
there a ceremony?
Not. I mean, I remember the moment because I actually had the Darth Vader, bifold
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
case, and I filled up a lot of it with the figurines, and then I remember the moment it was out by the holly tree actually, and I went out there and I dug little holes for each one.
like planting bulbs.
This is getting really dark. I'm not sure why. So that's why I say I can't explain why I did it, because I think I'm, a pretty. I've managed my life to this point. At any rate.
Now that you mentioned it, though, I have a son who's 8 who is a big fan of the digging. We probably have
I
some
think
action
that's what it
figures
was
buried in
about.
our
It was the
backyard right
digging.
now.
Yeah.
You might.
Would you say, Jeff? We probably do. Yeah, they're probably not his toys, though. They're probably his sister's toys. Bunch of My Little Ponies and stuff.
Yeah, so I don't think it was Star Wars toys that I sure was GI Joes.
Mm.
Pretty sure, but I know they're I know exactly where I buried them.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
Exactly.
it always seemed like you were either super into GI Joes and had a shit ton of them, or you had just the like knockoff ones.
Yeah, that's
Inaccurate?
true. I had the yeah, I have very clear. I don't know if you guys have the same memory since we're all from Southern Indiana, but I would go and just covet the GI Joe aircraft carrier and space shuttle, not the mini space shuttle, but at KB Toys they had that on display.
Yeah.
Andy, did you have one of those? Did you and Todd have one?
We didn't have an aircraft carrier. We may have had a space shuttle.
That thing was
We
huge,
had
like
a
5
Cobra
feet,
base.
6 feet long, right? It was pretty big.
It was huge, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I had a lot of growing up, they were like knockoff toys. They weren't knockoff toys. I mean, they were actual lines of toys. And I
Yeah.
don't know where they're at
Mac.
right now. Like Starcom had a lot of Starcom.
Nice.
Andy, insectoids? Sectoids? What was the
Insectoids is a thing.
insectoids? Yeah, I had that. I had a big play set of insectoids with they had like a spider you would put your hand in, like that play set.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't a toy.
Skyriders, who had like their whole gimmick was, I think they were Skyriders. You would
I think-
attach string.
I think Raiders.
Sky Raiders. You would tie strings and they would slide on the strings like zip line on them.
Yeah.
It didn't take much for us, y'all.
Oh. It's hard to like they lose interest in physical toys so early now.
They really do.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Kids are you guys know. I mean, I
Like
see
even 5 and 6 are already like there's
Screen.
very little interest in a physical toy. There's not enough stimulation, you know what I mean?
Well, what I found with my daughter, who's 7, is that, Lyra, she lost interest in, the dolls and, the physical toys of any nature a couple of years ago. And then she started reading, because we've always been big readers in our house.
Oh no.
And we read every night. It's the Communist Manifesto.
Oh boy.
I demand it. But no, so once she discovered how to read, it was one of the most joyous moments for me, because then she really did lose interest in physical things and started learning about stuff. And now she gets distracted by the physical things, being the iPad, screen time, stuff like that. So it's really hard to manage. But she then, like, if you give her the chance, she will just read about dolphins all day. And that's beautiful. It's sort of like a perspective shift in this new generation of kids that we have. And I encourage it. We still manage screen time. We try to.
I hope Andy one day gets a chance to read about dolphins.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm
I've been waiting.
fucking
You'll get there,
41
buddy.
years old, and I'll read about dolphins all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, I love kid facts, man. Kids
Yeah.
will soak in some
So we're
just random info and just blurt it out.
Sorry to derail this, but it was Sky Commanders.
Sky Commanders.
Sky Commanders.
Yeah.
Okay, I do recall.
Dino Riders. I had a lot of Dino Riders. That was another thing that I had of yeah.
Me too.
So are Chum, are your kids readers?
Yes and no. They're also content consumers. They're the Kurzgesagt or whatever, those STEM videos, basically
Yeah.
just like scientific.
Yeah.
Liam's super into stuff like that.
Nerd.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool, but that's what that's what they're into. You know what I mean? The older two are science fiction readers.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Chloe's a Stephen King. I think last one she wrote was Langoliers. She's 12, so
Wow.
that's her thing. But yeah, they're content consumers of all forms. Really, we don't limit screen time at all. So it's kind of we don't. I mean, we're just we accepted it. It's just extension of them, and we're not going to fight that battle really.
Respect that. I really
I mean,
do.
I respect the other side, and I see it how great it is, but it's just not for us. Like I can't.
Because the issue is really about how you use the content. I mean, how you use the mechanism that's providing the content, and if you can use that mechanism, be it the iPad or a desktop responsibly, then there's a lot of content you can consume that's good for your brain.
Yeah, they've already surpassed my skill set as far as being able to use it. So even if I wanted to like limit their time, they would find a workaround and outsmart me. I feel like so. It's just a.
Do y'all limit screen time?
No,
No.
we actually insist upon it for mandatory minimums is what we have here.
You gotta
Friday
meet a
4 to
standard.
9. So,
Yeah.
we encourage all. I don't give a shit what they do really, as long as they're having fun and smiling. You know what I mean? They talk a lot. I'm pretty open.
Well, it's interesting because people are parents talk a lot about screen time and stuff like that. But I mean, for me growing up, I mean my mom like wasn't there, not because she was a horrible parent, but she was just working. So we just ran around like the neighborhood and woods from like that's I think far more dangerous than somebody watching videos.
We ran around with fake guns.
We ran
all
around
the
with
time.
that's true. Yeah, we ran around with fake guns
Nonstop. No.
Yeah.
You can't
The
do that.
entire neighborhood.
Like I was a huge toy gun.
Like 20 boys running the neighborhood with realistic looking shotguns.
Yeah. Like I would throw tantrums if my
pointing them
gun
at
didn't make
things.
realistic noises when I pulled the trigger. Like I was a snob about my toy guns.
Yeah, that's what we would do. I mean, we would build tree houses and throw literal pepper bombs at
Yeah.
children.
And I was always in somebody else's property. Like I jumped everybody's fence.
Yep.
I was hiding in everybody's back. There was no backyard off limits in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
There was no like scary, don't go in that guy's yard because he's there was none of that. But if I see a kid approach my yard now, I want to murder him. I don't know why. I don't know when that changed.
I think that's Clint Eastwood's fault, but never mind.
What are you burying back there, kid? What are you burying?
Yeah.
I don't even want them looking at my yard.
So
That's how bothered it makes me.
was there a point where you all discovered the flea market in Louisville where you could go and buy swords? Because for me, there was this a very distinct point where, whoa, I can buy a sword and I'm only 13? And I did. And I
You got
bought
to go to Louisville at 13? I don't even know.
Well, my dad
took me.
My dad was an audiophile, like we've talked about before, and like so we would go to the flea market to look for records, and I always gravitated towards the weaponry bin. So Dave and I know we used to like go back into the woods behind my house with swords and just play fight with real swords. That's weird, but
no,
anyway,
it's not. That was totally normal. I did all that.
Yeah. So
there was an adult on our street that trained us in sword fighting.
That's
Really?
true. That is.
I believe that 100%.
I want to hear about that.
I mean, I don't remember his name, but he had.
They're suppressed memories for a reason.
No, I mean, it seems really. I don't remember his name, but he had this.
He had these wooden swords with like foam around them that you could use for practice. And he would teach us how to fight with swords.
Did he call them lures or swords?
No, he would teach us like stance and everything, and yeah, that was
These are
weird.
useful.
Cannot imagine something
I
like
think
that
someone
happening
may have
today.
said something to him because at some point he stopped.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dang. So it was a bummer.
He used to
Yeah, it
play
was a
baseball
bummer. Yeah.
too. He used to play baseball with us too, I think.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
We had a guy like that, but he made donuts. He had a donut truck in our neighborhood, and he would come to the bus stop in the morning with like warm donut holes,
Oh my God.
and I would shove them down. Boy, I love that guy.
But yeah, you weighed like 50 pounds all through high school for some reason.
Yeah, they were tapeworm flavored.
No, we didn't have any. We didn't have that in our neighborhood that I recall. It was just a guy teaching us. It was just starting a child
It was
army.
like a class.
Do you
It
feel
was
like
like we were going to some sort of sword training class, but like,
It's something to be so pumped about when you're that age. I mean, that's a huge opportunity.
Right now, if you told me that I could go to a sword fighting class, I'm probably gonna go for free.
Right.
free without
down the
telling
street.
anybody.
Carl knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? That's
No,
amazing.
that was an odd thing. Ryan, were there any odd things growing up that now you look back on them and you're like, I may have put myself at risk as a child.
Yeah, when I started drinking rum and then taking the sword out into the forest. That was a bad idea.
Dave lost his arm.
The night Dave lost his arm.
Yeah,
When did
we
you
would.
start drinking rum?
Well, I mean, okay.
My sword playing and my rum drinking days rarely crossed.
Well, there was some weird.
I did it in my 20s. Okay, thank you.
I remember too that
Yesterday.
in our neighborhood we also well, a couple things. We were really into roller skating for a little while. A lot of people had roller skates.
Four wheel or like inline or
Four wheel.
Oh no,
No
four
way.
wheel. Four wheel. No inline. Yeah, we weren't fruit booting. That, and then I remember that we were really into scooters and bikes, and we had a show that we were going to perform for people. Do you remember this, Andy? Or was this just an Isaac toy?
I've seen some of the cops and robber videos.
This is a thing that we talked about doing, a performance of our scooter and bike skills, and it was to be called the
Say it.
the Skike Show. We were going to hang up flyers that just say "Come to the Skike Show" without really any explanation
Like
as to what that even
skike,
is.
as in I combine skate and bike to
Scooters
Scooter and bike.
Scooters and bike. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we didn't go through with it because, you know, we don't actually do any tricks on our scooters and bikes. We just kind of ride them around.
Scooters were much bigger and better back then.
It was a grand idea. I mean, it was a beautiful idea.
You know, I
It
mean,
would have just been us like driving around in a circle. Me and Dave and Loren and Jason and Garrett just kind of driving around in a circle with like a couple of confused parents looking at us, and then for 5 minutes, and then that would have been it.
and yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, that would have been great if somebody could have videotaped it.
You would have had a collection hat though.
So, Andy, I don't know if this was the first time that I met you. When I moved to the neighborhood in 1989, it was still in development. So across the street from our house, I know Dave was doing this. So this is definitely how I met Dave Toy. And Andy, I'm pretty sure it was you and Dave, but it may have been Isaac.
I think I've heard the story as Isaac.
Okay, it was Isaac. Okay. So I heard a commotion outside across the street, and they had these big piles of gravel, piled up, like probably 10, 12 feet, that they were going to like push over and do whatever they do with gravel.
Very Star Wars.
Yeah. So anyway,
Boy.
so I went out there and I saw Toy had these. They were like metal fencing that was in these rolled up that ready to be rolled out, and Dave was picking them up and throwing them at Isaac, and he was jumping over them.
Like Donkey Kong style.
They were playing Donkey Kong. That was what they had explained to me. So that was the first time that I met Dave and Isaac, I guess. For
Wow,
some
that's
reason, I really wanted
fantastic.
it to be Andy. But I
Fantastic.
remember,
I also knew
Sounds like
exactly
something I
that
would
they
have
were playing
done.
Donkey Kong, and I've never heard that story before.
yeah,
Yes.
and I remember too that Isaac was not good at it. So Isaac was just taking on just Dave throwing these heavy metal things at him and like falling over them and then like rolling over
Tangled.
him. And Dave was like explaining what he was doing while his brother was just being pummeled with these like bundles of tetanus. And he's
Exactly.
like,
Right.
yeah, that's the first time I met Dave playing Donkey Kong. But yeah, we're worried about kids' screen time now.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how I was punished. Like, you can't go outside. You got to stay inside and play Nintendo today. You can't go outside. That was how I was
Yeah,
punished when I was a kid.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
as
do think
punishment, we were given screen time.
Right.
Well, it's odd because we managed. I loved Nintendo and played Nintendo constantly. I know Andy did, and I'm sure that you guys did too.
Mhm.
But also and I'm not doing the whole that generation and this generation. Blah.
No, that's all
But
bullshit.
yeah, it is.
Y-
We did both. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. My kids do too. That's the thing. Like, I don't limit them, so they just do what comes naturally, and it's usually a good mix of both. And
Yeah.
who am I?
Exactly. I mean, it is a very good mix of both because, especially at this age, up until the time you're 26 or whatnot, your neurons in your brain are activating themselves at such great frequency that you can't help but not focus on one thing. I mean, I can give my kid the iPad, but eventually, both of them, they get bored with it after a couple 2-3 hours. you know and some people would say that's too much screen time a day, but in reality, they in the context of that screen time, they're actually doing many different things. They're not just doing a single thing. That said, I played Super Mario Brothers, as you guys all did, for hours at a time.
Yeah, I
And then
can't
the
force
next
my kids
day
to
I
do
went
something.
out and went into the forest.
Yeah.
It's
I just
just
learned I'll never be able to like get them to focus on things I want them to focus on. They're going to do what they want. So
Yeah.
I can just encourage them when they find something interesting, and I'll get involved
yeah.
with whatever that is, explore it with them. It works out.
I,
Oh, that
I, I
sounds
just
cool. Ask them what they're into and like explore it. Okay, tell me more. Let's figure. That's cool. Let me see.
And as long as you have that attitude, I think ultimately, like, kids will learn from that. They will be susceptible to new information, and wherever that information comes from. That's why I don't worry too much about screen time. Ultimately, I think, uh, you know, my daughter is going to learn something on the screen and then take that out into the real world and do something about it. And that's sort of how I feel about it, because we live in an age of information and we have to accept that.
I wrote book reports out of encyclopedias.
Yeah, me too, all the time.
That's
Like
stupid.
even in my master's degree, I had to read a massive number of books just to write my thesis. I mean, like, it's just not, that's not the world that my kids are going to live in. Or
Yeah,
your
what are you
kids.
touching pages?
Yeah. Yeah.
No time
Speaking
for that.
of, we haven't, Lauren, I want to talk to you about your, about the venture there as CEO of operations at Sweet Behavior, right? Um, but I also want to ask, because I'm dying to ask as a reader myself, what are you reading right now?
Um, I am reading a I'm reading a an anti-capitalist book on disability called Beyond Ramps, written by a uh, a lady named Marta Russell. That's about how
Beyond
uh,
ramped.
Beyond Ramps, RAMPA. That's just about how the whole capitalist system is anti-disability and just all bullshit. Because I've officially reached the age I actively hate money, and I
Me
hate
too.
capital.
Me
I just
too.
I help run a company. I people have jobs with us and they get paid really well, but the whole thing is just such a joke. Like I don't care. I just want to go do stuff and just do good work, and I really don't care about it anymore.
And you want people that need access to something, to information or to community, to be able to access it in an easy way, not to
Yeah,
have
it's
to
just
like go through piles of paperwork.
yeah, and it's just
And
that's where I'm at now too. Is all the hoops that you have to jump through to all of the policy and the paperwork and stuff that you have to do to go out and help somebody is just it's I just I'm having a real hard time with it lately, to be honest. Like I've spent like 80, 90, 100 hours on writing this documentation program, and you have to do this certain way. All the people who work at my company are doing is going out and helping people and assisting people with disabilities. Do we need a huge documentation system for somebody to take somebody to the grocery? Like that's what the state's concerned with, you know? It's just
because of possible litigation.
no, it's this is to the point where we're at right now. So the government, the I'm not going to go political, but it's
Yeah,
just the truth.
yeah.
But the Republicans,
Speak the truth.
have stated that there's so much Medicaid fraud being committed
Mhm.
that the way that they're going to fix this is that my employees have to clock in when they get to a place that GPS locates them to prove that they're not stealing Medicaid dollars, even though there's never been any report proving that this will help anything or that money's being stolen.
And
Yeah,
even
back
on a
up there.
general
Hold on.
level, the fact that Medicaid fraud is not a big thing. I mean,
It's not.
Can you walk
Yeah.
me through that one more time there?
Okay. So some of the folks who work in this field, we have different things that different people do, but some of the people are called direct support professionals, which mean they come over to your house and they help you out or assist you with whatever you need assistance with.
it
So
might
that
be studying to become a BCBA or something like that.
yeah. So I like if somebody needs assistance to go to the grocery store, like to drive back and forth, come back, assistance with budgeting, you go and you do that, right? Like life skills
Mhm.
that we all have. So that's what their job is. Some of the folks who work here. So it's a pretty easy thing to understand, and they're paid such a minimum wage.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're paid, even though the companies are paid a lot of money to do it. The 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 people actually doing the job only get $9-10 an hour.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
yeah.
And in my
So
experience, that's been the case. Yeah.
yeah,
Is there
yeah.
is this what's the term for the type of employee? Direct care professionals?
Direct support professional, a
Direct
DS.
support. Okay.
Yeah. So what happens then is uh, they're the ones who get punished. They're like the lowest rung, the lowest paid, and they're the ones who are getting punished because they're saying that people are going and claiming that they're doing work that they're not doing. So they devised the system where you literally have to GPS locate where you're at.
These are
Like
the employees that are employed by the Medicaid funded
yes,
programs. Okay.
Boulder County just switched to
Seems absurd.
yeah,
Boulder County just switched to a system in which they don't have to like do the GPS location thing, but you do have to log in real time. So
Yeah.
you have to sign in. Yet, even if on the remote location, this is me on my iPhone signing in, and then you walk out the door for a session, and this is me on my iPhone signing out. Otherwise, you can't bill Medicaid for it.
Yeah. So it's
And that's a new rule this year
yeah,
in Boulder County.
it's so patronizing. I mean, these people
Yeah.
are these people are working their butts off. They're not getting paid hardly anything, and then you, it's just ridiculous. So it's just, you know, I just want to go out and do good, and that's all I want to do. Like, I'm not trying to make myself seem all big. That's really all I want to do. If somebody needs to go to I want to be able to go take them to the grocery, and that's it. Like, yes, you get compensated for it because that's the way our system works, but I shouldn't have to jump through all these hoops to do it. It's just
Open up the doors for a lot of like dispute as far as, I'm sure I was
Yeah.
logged in and, all these different errors that occur with.
think about it, man. You're paying somebody $9 or $10 an hour. Not where I work. They get paid 14, 15 bucks an hour. So they get paid a living wage here, not in other places. But
Even in Boulder County, they don't get paid a living wage.
so
It's
you're
ridiculous.
you're asking people getting paid $9 an hour to use their own smartphones, which they may or may not be able to afford, to
Mhm.
clock in and clock out and just be literally tracked by the government. And that's not a conspiracy theory thing. That's really what's being done. Also, side note, I can clock in on my phone and leave my phone at the place and then go wherever the hell I want and come back and clock out. Like,
That's what I do.
My phone's been in Andy's for years.
it's just silly. Just
That is
it's just
silly.
ridiculous. I hate playing like the capitalism game where it's ridiculous. I just hate it. Like, it's just
It seems like the last place that they should waste time looking for fraudulent expenses.
It absolutely is the last place. I mean, I have lived among poor people my entire life. I'm a poor person now, and I'm proud to say that I am. In some respects, I would like to, get out of my Medicaid hole, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon, and that's okay for the time being. But
I see Medicaid payments every day.
to assume, and I know a lot of people in my position too, artists in my position, and I can't to assume on a federal level that we're trying to manipulate the system in some way is just totally ridiculous. Especially when much, okay, not to get too political, but when much of the revenue they get from tax dollars goes to places I don't want it to go to, like the Department of Defense. And we could solve this problem pretty easily, but and this has come up before in our talks, Justin. But
What was their design behind this? Like, did they provide like an estimate of predicted savings that this program would
no.
create?
I mean, it's founded on nothing. It's just them saying like, oh, they're stealing tax dollars, and it's literally found. There's no research that's been.
No, there's not. It's rhetoric. It's just trying to manipulate people. I don't know how else to put it.
We hate poor people. We could solve poverty tomorrow if we wanted to.
And we could include those.
Wait, who hates me?
Like my stepson Alex and others in the disability community who like include them in the conversation. It's absolutely ridiculous that we can't include every member of our society, even if we don't want to consider ourselves as a country right now a globalistic society, and just okay, let's just take nationalism as a stance. Fine. Well, nationalism should be about inclusion. I don't understand why we have to continue to like define laws around who has the most money. Drives me crazy.
I agree. I mean, it's I don't know. We're actively choosing to spend money on killing people. Right? That's just who we are. Our tax dollars go towards killing people. I don't want my tax dollars to
It
go.
seems like you work in a field that deals with laws that are designed for inclusion, that you see that are just horrible to begin with. Like it seems like any effort that they do make is all fucking horrible and never
Well, I mean,
works out well.
so what happens in this field? And I'm not going to get too far into it, but basically what's happened is it's the commodification of the disabled body, right? So if you're somebody who wants to make money, you're going to get into this field, and the government pays you a particular rate to do your services, right? They don't say you have to pay your workers this rate. So
No.
what happens is, if you're an owner, a lot of times you pocket the majority of that money and pay your workers nothing, right?
Yeah.
So you are literally making money off of disabled people. Like
Yeah.
you're not helping them.
You're just acting as the middle.
Yeah, you're keeping you can get. I'm telling you, you can get. We have literal millionaires who are Medicaid providers who have small companies because they keep the majority of the funds and don't give anything to the workers.
Yeah.
And it's
I think
not
this
just
is because it's harder for the individual employee to be a solo contractor. Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. You have to jump through a lot of hoops. You have to have like $1 million worth of insurance to be a provider. You have to you have to be a
E&O?
provider. Yeah, right. So you can't go out and just say, I want to help people and get paid for this service and I'm going to apply for it. So what happens is it discourages small businesses from doing it. So you have to have money and capital before you can even get into it. So it's rough.
Or the credentials, you know.
Yeah, it's just that's the real problem. That's the real injustice, is these companies that are getting rich off of doing nothing. Like they're not paying their workers.
And and
Need to
more
take some
importantly,
notes here.
they're not providing safe spaces. And like that's in my experience has been a big, thorn in my side, in dealing with, Larimer County in particular here in Fort Collins. They do not provide safe spaces for those, the for people like Alex or anyone really. The paperwork was all messed up. They have this mound of paperwork, and I totally understand that. It's absolutely ridiculous. But in the end, as a former parent of Alex, like I really believe that all we wanted was a safe space. We didn't want to deal with all the other bullshit. We just want a safe space in a community. And by throwing all kinds of money into it and everything and making it unaffordable for a lot of people who live with disability, it's just not okay.
It's ridiculous. And I was telling Chum before y'all hopped on here, the biggest lie that we're taught growing up is that disability or disabled is a bad word.
Yeah.
And it's not. Like you don't
It's
have to
not.
dress up the word. You're disabled. I'm not disabled. That's okay. Those are both two things. And businesses act like with accessibility and stuff. I mean, Andy's parents sorry to bring your family into this, Andy, but they just built a ramp on their own in this deck. So Andy's niece it's accessible. Their house is. They're not millionaires. They chose to do it. Was affordable for them. So you can't tell me that a business can't put a ramp so somebody with a wheelchair, wheelchair user
Exactly.
can. It's just a big lie. I mean, I'm so sick of it. Like I'm just to the age officially where I don't like money. I'm happy. I make plenty of money. Emily and I are comfortable here. We're lucky to have the money that we have. I like going to work every day. I think that I know that we pay our workers really well, our employees really well here at our company. We want to we want to be revolutionaries. We want to radicalize everybody who comes and works for us, as far as disability rights go. So that's enough. I mean, I don't need any more money. We don't need as much money as we have. And I'm lucky to be able to say that, and I understand. But here I am. I'm not bragging, but I help run a company. I don't have insurance right now. I can't afford insurance right now.
I know. I honestly believe that that's the biggest problem in this country right now. If we can just have a solid insurance structure, not just Medicaid for all, but I mean the structure has to be involved. You know,
Andy,
where
can we get your thoughts, please?
I agree with everything.
Okay.
beautiful. I love it. It yeah, so the structure just needs to be in place so that you can have access.
Are you frozen, Lauren?
Everyone can have the same amount of access and access to the same, you know, and it's not difficult to get to that. Well, yeah, okay, insurance is complicated. I understand that, but you know, we have great minds working on this.
How's the healthcare system in Germany?
I was,
Yeah, let's talk
yeah.
about that.
I was just gonna say, I can actually say something. You know, I work in construction. I have a low level job, but I have insurance. We have a house. You know, I mean, there's no reason that the United States couldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, how's it differ? Like, why is it so easy for you? I'm not saying it is easy, but like, why can't we have that same access? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. You know, World War II in Germany. You know, and
Mhm.
the Germans, they really are sort of careful about slipping back into that. You know, and so they see that they need to provide for everybody, and they shouldn't slip back into Nazism and all that. And then in the
The
U.S.
other,
is like I don't know, they just
I don't know what happened.
it's that
they understand the difference between socialism and communism.
you know,
I'll be right back.
See ya. Where you going?
Germany.
Hey,
If you show up on Andy's
I-
screen, I'll shit myself.
yeah. Well, Ryan, I was going to tell you this. I'll tell you. We've actually planned a little surprise for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
This is an intervention, actually.
No, that's another time.
Hour 3 of the segment here.
We are actually right outside your house, Ryan. True story.
No.
I'll be right back.
So, the healthcare is it government provided? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So do you have to be
They have
employed?
private healthcare here, and then when you get a job, your employer has to be able to provide you with healthcare.
Do you have to pay into the system for that? I mean, I guess through taxes, but yeah. But
Yeah, through taxes, or if
like-
you have private, you have to pay more. My wife has private, and then I have with my employer.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Any, I assume the difference in the private and is just like a deductible type thing. Cost of services.
I don't know. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, same me. I am one of those.
Save me.
Yeah. Have you
it just
have you had any major experiences with dealing with the healthcare system? Like, have you had any hospitalizations or anything that you've had to deal with there?
Not really. I mean, we go to the doctor, and it doesn't, and we don't have to sell our house.
That's the thing. Like, I'm like terrified to go to the doctor because I'm afraid I can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's like it really like affects my choices. You know what I mean? Like, I choose not to because I choose not to be broke.
do you
I
have
went to
insurance?
the doctor the other day, and I didn't even think about it.
Right. You shouldn't ever have to, but the fact
You
that
should never.
I do is like, ugh.
What company, Justin?
No, like specifically like dental shit.
Oh, dental, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the dentist, even if you have dental insurance here, it's just, they don't.
No, it's still
They cover
terrible.
a cleaning a year, but who goes to the
They
dentist?
cover
for
a cleaning, and then they cover like 30% of your bill.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, I had to pay for like George Washington teeth at one point, so I had to it was a lot of
Dental
work.
here's changing for the worse. They used to cover it, and then they started being like, maybe we shouldn't be covering dental anymore because it's your own fault or something. They say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect, but it's better than it is there.
Yeah, I don't have vision either. You know what I mean? I can't feel like I should wear glasses, but you know,
Glasses are cool.
they are.
Take my word for it.
Do you wear cheaters or anything, Andy, on occasion?
Nope. What do you mean cheaters?
I don't know if you remember me in school, but I wore glasses forever, like up through 9th, 10th grade, and stopped.
I had an operation done on my eyes when I was a child.
And what happened?
And they fixed them, I guess.
Okay.
I had a lazy eye.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I still kind of have it though, so
That they
I
fixed.
want a
You know,
refund.
Charlie's having strabismus operation at the end of January.
what is that?
Well, both of his eyes wander from time to time. And
Is that a muscle thing?
yeah, it's a muscle thing. They go in like through here, and there's just like one little muscle they clip. They don't even clip the whole muscle. They just clip part of it with a laser, and it relaxes it because apparently his muscles are so tight that it like drifts the eyes outward. It's weird. I don't know. I don't pretend to understand it, but that's at least what the doctor said.
Yeah,
I had
I feel like I'm real stupid. That's why I ask real dumb questions all the time like that.
I had that laser surgery done, and I had to claw the sleep out of my eyes every morning. You can't even open your eyes. You have to claw at your eyes to open them for like a couple weeks.
Oh my God.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
It's fine. I mean, it's not. It's just like it's fine. It's not
Worth it.
a bad experience. It's not worth it. Should
Do you
leave your eyes
consider
closed.
LASIK, Lauren or Ryan? Either one of you considered a LASIK surgery?
No, I like my glasses.
I like my glasses too.
I like the fact that I could take them off and see the world in a different perspective.
I can't take mine off, but
You're that way. You can't really.
Well, when I go to bed, you know.
Jessica's that way. It's glasses or contacts at all times, or she just doesn't have eyeballs.
I don't even do contacts. I just, you know, I don't know.
I can't do contacts. I mean, and Emily, she doesn't laugh at me. I mean, she does laugh at me, but not for this reason. She has lots of a pee-pee, looks like, with.
Man, that's fantastic.
Oh, okay. I got it now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Emily's eyesight is she puts on my glasses and she's like, psh, you can see. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
My glasses like that.
Do you feel like your face has morphed to conform to wearing glasses?
well, it literally has. I mean, you can see the red.
I feel like it changes the structure of your face sometimes. Like if you
Is
wear
that why
braces.
Is that why you don't want to wear glasses?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, maybe if I always wore my glasses on the cartilage of my nose.
That's when I started getting fat. I stopped wearing them, and they just filled out. You know what I mean? It just like let the gas out or something. I don't know. But I always feel like somebody who wears glasses for an extended period of time, when they take them off, they don't appear to be themselves.
I think I look weird. I think I look like a Neanderthal when I take my glasses off.
I think you do too.
Pretty good.
Why it's such a process when you have to buy a new pair.
Yeah, that's why I stopped really, because I was like, I don't want to go get any more, and I broke none.
The thing with contacts is I can't do contacts because if anything gets close to my eyes water like a lot. And I remember trying them because the doctor's like, the eye doctor's like, oh, you'll get used to it. But I couldn't do it. I just was just just bawling. Like it was just a natural, you can't get anything.
I don't think I could do it either.
Yeah,
I'm a big watery eye guy. Like if I was petting Dot right now, my eyes would be just leaking. I'm
Well, I mean,
terribly
I'll watch
allergic.
somebody do it, and I will have like a sympathy eye water. Like it will make my eyes water about that. Every time I look at her, man, I cry.
It's like a yawn.
Yeah. So a
Yeah.
question that I have written down for you guys that I'm interested in is you
Be
guys
prepared.
I had one question actually written down. Interested in this, and it also one of my answers involves Andy. Uh Rob in this. Do y'all remember the hardest time that y'all ever laughed? Like I have three. One involves Dave Toy, one involves Andy, and another one doesn't involve them.
Here you go first.
Well, I think
I can
Andy
give you
knows.
mine, but
Tell me here.
And then I'll go.
Jeff O'Brien,
Mm.
Familiar?
me and Jeff O'Brien.
Wait, I live with Jeff O'Brien. Did you know that, Chum?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
You did though.
Yeah, we were dorm mates, but sorry to interrupt you.
Wow, USI.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, maybe I think I did know that. Me and him, like, we rented this. Me and Jess lived in this tiny house in Henryville, and Dave and Ryan were coming over a lot of the
Yeah.
time, and we had this old school '70s kitchen table in our little dining room spot that it would just Friday, Saturday nights. It was a bottle of vodka or whatever, and whoever I was hanging out with
Or
sitting at this
whatever.
table. Yeah. So it was one of those nights. Me and Jeff O'Brien are sitting there, but we consume quite a bit of psilocybin mushrooms, and for at the time, I just had a car blow up. I went from a very nice Mitsubishi Eclipse to
Ooh,
a
yeah.
88 Ford Tempo that I paid $150 for. So the running joke of the night while on these psilocybin mushrooms was how my 88 Ford Tempo had this Eclipse body kit on it. and to the point where my eyes we refer to them as applesauce eyes because they're no longer eyeballs. They were just some form of applesauce, like just leaking because the laughter was it wasn't snot laughter. It was all just applesauce laughter.
Yeah.
And to this day, I refer to that as applesauce eyes all the time. It was definitely one of the hardest laughing moments of my life. I'll never forget it. Next.
Ryan, what's the you wanted to go next?
Yeah, I did state that. And I don't know if I want to go, but yeah. Well, I have two, and they're all from very long ago, and I don't want this to seem depressing at all. I've had a number of joyful moments in the past 10 years, but uh, one, Andy, I think you were there. Had to have been Louis C.K. inspired when I first saw Pootie Tang.
That came to mind for me too.
Like I was
It felt
literally
like
on
we
the
were going. It felt like we were going to die.
Yeah.
There were like 5 or 6 of us went, and there was like maybe 2 other people in the theater.
Yeah.
We took up the whole back row.
Yeah,
And
it was. And we were all on the floor just rolling around. I couldn't. It was especially when Chris Rock, I remember the saying, comes in and he dies by the hands of a gorilla. And that, I lost it. And for the rest of the movie, it was just everything. It was a solid 15 minutes of I could not breathe kind of laughter. That and the only other time I've even approached that, well, and equaled it, I would say, would have to be when I smoked Salvia divinorum. And
now for something completely different.
And now for something completely different, yeah. But it was an inspired little trip, and it was like I ended up like jumping on a trampoline that went 300 feet into the sky and coming back down. And for some reason, there were gorillas there too. I don't know why. And I could not stop laughing. It was just ridiculous. At any rate, that's me.
I'm jealous you actually got to see Pootie Tang in theaters.
It was
Why-
one of the. It was so joyous.
Because the first time I saw it was at Andy's house on 403 for Thanksgiving and deep fried a turkey.
Why didn't I go see Pootie Tang with y'all?
You didn't come with us enough
Yeah, that's true.
at that point.
Yeah.
Much regret.
Yeah.
Do you have one? Let's hear yours.
Andy or me?
Either.
Andy, do you remember?
It was a family circus that I read.
Oh shit!
What's the kid's name? Billy? I think he had to deliver something, but he took. He was all over the place.
I can't deal with that, dude. That's too much. Oh.
Who do you think comes to mind?
All right.
When Loren and Justin, we went to see Muppets from Space. I enjoyed that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It was laughter from the second we sat down. Chum did not stop laughing the entire
Too
time.
good, dude.
which,
It's
you know,
too good. It still gets me
We
really
came
hard.
in late.
I love that movie.
We came in late, and it was just solid laughter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still.
And
It holds a special spot.
when Loren visited, we had a good laugh.
You visited
Uh,
Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me this story.
So we were sitting around doing nothing, and I didn't have anything to say, and I had some like Star Wars brand Kleenex there, and I said to Loren, I started to say, "Did you see the Star Wars tissues?" But halfway through the sentence, the look on his face said he had no interest in talking about that. And so I wanted to make the sentence. I don't know, I stumbled and I said, "Hey, Loren, did you see the Star Wars tetes?"
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which. Uh,
Fantastic.
And it's not an easy story to tell.
I remember that it was even funnier because Selena didn't really know what had happened. So it's just.
Missed it.
It was like the word titties was pulled out of me.
And I've never heard Andy doesn't say the word titties.
No, it doesn't seem Andy like at all. It's like you'd push that
Yeah,
down for a while and it just bubbled out.
Yeah, that is in my
I always
Like-
think it was weird how me and Andy kind of connected. Because
sexually.
I didn't have like that neighborhood. You know, you guys were like separated, isolated from me. So I connected randomly with Andy. Did we have drama class together? But I feel like
I know how we started. I don't know why, but you and Chris Linford.
Yep.
We're doing this sort of mobile heads up 7-Up thing. Where you were
Okay.
playing heads up 7-Up in the halls in school, but not telling anybody what you were doing. But I understood what you were doing somehow, and so I pulled one of your thumbs and said, "Heads up 7-Up" or whatever.
Yep, and we've been friends since, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm still chasing you, and you got it far away. That's amazing, because I remember very strange interactions with you, like randomly in the hallways. Like we would just catch each other's view and just have some weird moments together that I just stuck with me. Like no words said, just some just some acknowledgments of each other and going about our days. But they always stuck with me as like super hilarious and fantastic. And I think we ended up having a class together, right? Miss Boyer's class.
Yeah, we did have drama together.
Because this was I believe my first memory is you in a Mr. Bubbles t-shirt, I believe.
That could be.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't remember having a Mr. Bubbles t-shirt, but maybe I did.
You did.
Yeah, I think you did. It was definitely Mr. Bubbles. I'm pretty sure. It may have
Okay.
not have been. Yeah, it
I
was good
think
stuff.
you had drama, and I was Miss Boyer's teaching assistant.
Nice. Because it's kind of our personalities are so different. I think it was a good pairing. Our weird laughter connections. I enjoyed it a lot. Still do.
I just got a message from Tim.
Why wasn't I
said-
invited?
He says, "Holy shit." It's in response to the season finale of The Mandalorian, I think.
Oh, I haven't
yeah.
watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Forward them the link to this with no other response.
Immediately.
Out of curiosity.
I haven't seen Loren, Your Beautiful Face, and Andy, Your Beautiful Face in many, many years. I've seen
believe-
pictures of you, but to see you live means a lot right now. This is a beautiful moment.
Well, I'm glad, buddy.
Feels good to see
Happy
you.
to be here.
I believe
Yeah.
Tim is about to have or recently had new child.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
What?
I think they're having a second child, or they did, or something.
Well, he didn't tell me.
I think he told me.
It was unimportant.
That's his problem.
I didn't know that. I've talked to him. He didn't mention it. Is it his?
I could be wrong.
Oh,
Maybe someone else told me.
It's his problem. I don't know.
wow. Yeah, Tim is he's a big man on campus.
He is
Actually-
exemplary.
What do you mean?
I'm
What's he
actually
up to?
drinking out of a
Yeah.
yeah
His brewery.
brewery and now distillery. I mean, he sent me
No
a
way.
oh yeah, he sent me a bottle of his bourbon. It's like $70 a bottle. He just randomly sent me just a bottle
And an invoice.
and an invoice. No, man, it is unbelievable. Andy and I went up there. It just keeps expanding. He has like 10 restaurants or something like that, and they own
What?
like 2 or 300 acres in Brown County that they bought to
Oh
do
my
like
God.
trails, and it's really unbelievable. I never pictured Tim doing
Same.
that. Yeah, I mean it's awesome. Yeah,
Hell
and then
yeah, it is.
Jeff O'Brien is not their head brewmaster or head of distribution or something.
What's he do?
He's the head drinker.
Head of operations or something like that. He does something.
I know when Andy and I went up
involved.
The head taster.
there. When Andy and I went up there, we left with. We went to go see Jeff after we hung out with Tim, and we went over to the brew house where they make the beer, and he sent me home with the most beer I think I've ever seen in my life. He was just like, "Do you want this? Take this." Andy was there. Andy's like,
That
"Can I
took some.
have some?" He was like, "Sure. How much does your dad want?"
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have some Big Woods Brews swag around here that Jeff has dawned on me when he'll randomly stop by and see me and drop off a bunch of apparel and whatnot. It's awesome.
It's good. Like, so you
Yeah.
have to support your friend. Like, oh yeah, cool. It's actually really good.
Yeah. It's
beer
weird
and
that every time I hear somebody mention Brown County, I'm like, you should try this out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah,
do you still have a copy of No Dancing Muse?
I do.
Okay. I was going to ask you if you wanted one.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually some stuff on there that I still like and that I go back to every now and then, but nah. No, I have a couple copies actually,
Andy, do you have a copy of Big Bag Gazebo?
including like 8 Chumley T-shirts. I don't know why.
I
Yeah.
do.
Speaking of, do you have any balloons handy? Okay. And my
we want to
question
reenact.
is, when you created that song with the what's the name of the clown
A
pissing?
clown goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Did you have balloons on hand? Did you bring them over to Ryan's house for his sleepover?
Dave and I went to the, I don't know. Oh, Dave and I bought some balloons specifically to do that.
Okay. That
And
doesn't. That's
it
not
was
what I would hope
beautiful.
for.
I
I
mean-
hoped you just had balloons on hand at all times. But
Well, maybe we did. I don't know.
So,
My parents' house was like, whatever he needs in there.
so I was telling them earlier.
that has been Franklin.
I was talking to Chum earlier about Big Bag Gazebo and how a clown goes to the bathroom comes up a lot on shuffle in my car. That and the many parts of the crime fighting penises song, which is about Jeff and Tim O'Brien and their crime fighting penises. Have you heard that song, Chum?
No, but I want to. I don't want to see the video. I don't want to see the video. Though.
Well, you do. You think you don't, but
I feel like I have
yeah.
in
And I
short
remember-
form.
It's unrelated to the sword fighting training that we did in our neighborhood.
They weren't a part of that. We were
Shut up.
properly trained.
Do you remember that guy's name?
I had no idea. I don't even know if I knew it at the time.
I don't remember his name either. I could take you to the house right now.
He lived next door to Jason.
Yeah, live next door to Jason Girth.
Oh,
Do
Do you know where David lived?
yeah.
Jason lived next door to David, and then so 2 houses
Okay.
down from David.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was funny. I helped mom. Mom bought a new couch. She still lives in the house I grew up in. This was a couple weeks ago, and we were driving back in the van that we'd rented to move the couch. And I was like, "Does Jason Girth's mom still live there?" She was like, "No."
Like disgustingly.
He was disgusted. Like, "No, why would she still live there?" It's like, you still live in your house. That's
I think everybody's still there. I think the toys are still there.
Toys
Merriman's are still
in the
there.
same house. Yeah.
the Merrimans are
Yeah.
still there.
Like-
Fingers crossed. My mom's still there.
Yeah, that's the whole neighborhood, really.
Yeah, there's just 4 houses in the neighborhood.
They did build you guys a park after you moved away, though.
They did.
To,
And,
I guess,
yeah.
curb all the sword fighting. It's like a
Yeah, is
skate
he
park
still
for
there?
sword fighters.
Is what still there?
No, is he still there? Your sword fighting master?
No. He moved away after the charges.
Yeah. As
1,500 feet.
expected. Yeah.
It's awesome. I don't know. What is it now? Like 6 a.m. there now, Andy? Do you have breakfast around this time usually? Are you off today? You're not like headed to work right
6:30.
now
It's Saturday, and I'm officially on vacation.
for the week?
2 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah, they
There's another
celebrate
thing about
Christmas.
living here. I get 30 days vacation.
Hell yeah.
So
Plus sick time.
And he's sick a lot, y'all.
I asked for time off this week, and my boss told me I could have Christmas Eve off. And then I looked it up,
Fucking-
and saw it was declared a federal holiday, and I didn't feel so good about it anymore.
Wait, what's his name again?
You know,
Not. It doesn't start with an E.
nope. Eeyore.
Ebenezer.
I don't work for him. Yeah, well, I did actually refer to myself as, was it Crotchet, Jess?
Hmm.
What was Scrooge's assistant's
Cratchit.
name? Cratchit. Yeah, I did refer to
Crotchet.
myself as him earlier, as Crotchet, because I do feel that
No.
way from time to time.
So Chum and Ryan, do y'all watch? I mean, I'm assuming that y'all watch the Muppet movies with your kids, right?
Yeah, we just watched the Christmas Carol a couple nights ago.
That's nice.
I love the Muppets, and I have for my whole life. And you know, when I had my daughter, I was like, oh, she's going to be a huge Muppet fan. She's not. And I have you know, the first 3 seasons of the Muppets, you know, the early stuff on DVD. And
That's all they released, unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah, I have those as well.
And all the Muppet movies, and you know, we watched them. We just watched the Christmas Carol a couple nights ago. I've shown them Take Manhattan, you know, all the way back to the beginning for the movies. And
Watched the what's the most recent two?
but Charlie
watched
loves
those
it.
last week.
Charlie
as well.
loves it though.
Really,
Lyra
the
didn't-
Muppet Show was our go-to. Like when we first got our van and had DVD player in it, and that was our go-to like car DVD was the Muppet Show.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I watched Emma, Muppet fan, but she'd never seen Emmett Otter's Jugman Christmas, and I was really excited to watch it with her. She didn't like it. she did not like it at all. It was horrible. Like at all. Like, this is,
you find yourself getting real bummed out when she doesn't like stuff you like. Just
no,
don't care. Need her to like. You know what I mean?
No, I joke around, but
I think that's half the fun of it, though. Like, here's something I think is so cool. Let me watch your face while you watch it,
yeah,
and then watch that reaction video.
And I tried it with Nosferatu, it just didn't work.
Jessica hates everything that I think's funny. I think she thinks.
That's why you
someone
had
on,
kids, so
someone on Twitter posted the other day. There's the Muppet Family Christmas,
Hmm.
and on YouTube someone posted the whole thing, but it's from a broadcast version. And they really kill the mood at the end of it because the end credits start rolling, and am I still on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're live.
The end credits start rolling, and then there's a voiceover coming up on Dateline. Should newborn babies' organs be harvested before?
I watched it last night. It's unbelievable.
Oh no, that's awesome.
Should newborn babies be kept alive so their organs can be harvested?
Did you see that other Henson, that recent Happy Time murder? Did you see
No.
that? It was a Henson studio production.
Oh no,
Yeah, that had Melissa McCarthy, and
Unfortunately,
I like Melissa McCarthy. She's great.
Big Baby Jesus just said no.
yeah. I enjoyed the thought of having a rated R Muppet movie,
Yeah,
but they ruined it. You know that it just fell way short of what it could have been.
I never saw it.
Not enough nudity. Is that your
No.
criticism?
Sort of
Yeah.
my thing.
Just too much her. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Here's my terrible comment of the night. I'll pause here so I can edit it, but I don't find a lot of women funny.
Mm.
You better.
Comedian wise, actresses. There's just not a lot of funny women in movies. I don't think.
That is your opinion. It does not represent the opinion of Ryan, Loren, and Andy.
Right, and I'll restart the show now. Yeah, I don't know. Stand up too. There's very few. I don't know. I'm a comedy junkie, so it's just hard for me to. I really scrutinize.
I think part of the problem is the opportunities that, frankly, white men get. Being out there in the forefront telling original jokes is pretty opportunist, but it has been opportunist for a single group of people for a long time. And I think as more women get, because I think of when I think of female comedians, I I mostly think of writers, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair, because now I think that's starting to change, and you see a lot of female writers who are doing stand up, and I think that's a beautiful thing and hilarious.
It's
There's
really
been
changed a lot,
behind
which is
every
great. Whitney
major,
Cummings, fucking hilarious.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
great. I love Aubrey Plaza. I love Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
There was a time I still love Sarah Silverman to this day.
For sure. But there's a lot of typecast tryhards that aren't funny though. Like
Yeah,
especially the wannabe Roseanne lane. There's a lot of that.
I think Roseanne fits into a different category. I don't know.
Roseanne was amazing.
I have never really responded to her comedy very well.
She's got a great
Roseanne?
podcast.
Not that I don't
I'll die
appreciate
on that
her and
hill.
respect her. I mean, as an artist. But what'd you say, Lauren?
I really like Roseanne growing up.
Yeah.
I think that she like 90s Roseanne, not saying
Yeah.
horrible things now, Roseanne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's whew. But even like your Phyllis Diller, I thought she was hilarious.
Are you
Wanda,
70?
Wanda Sykes? Come on, Wanda Sykes been in the business for a long time.
I don't
God
think she's
damn,
very funny.
Wow. Wow.
But I don't think a lot of dudes are funny either, though. It's pretty even.
All right. You need to start with that.
Yeah, I was
Nobody's
yeah.
funny.
All
So
this,
you
all
can't
this.
be-
Definitely what you should start with.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of terribly unfunny dudes too. Netflix is like really being filled with unfunny stand-up specials right now.
So what's the last really funny thing that y'all have watched?
Are we talking stand-up or like just?
Not real life, just like anything you've seen.
Oh, guys fall over.
You saw a guy fall over? Was he old?
Yeah. There's not much really.
I pushed him though.
Frankly, you guys might disagree with me, and that's totally fair. I love Kevin Hart, and like every time I see him on interviews recently and otherwise in his specials, I love Kevin Hart. I think he's really damn hilarious, and I think he has a lot of things to say about culture in our society now, and he does it in a responsible way, and because I don't think explicitives are irresponsible.
He's going through the Steve Martin syndrome right now, though. It's like too
What's
big.
that? What's the Steve? What's that?
Where you get too big to be funny anymore, and it's hard to keep that.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's still funny.
I feel like Steve Martin really like defined that pretty well. Like
Steve Martin made a lot of bad movies.
He's a fucking legend to me.
Steve Martin is a legend, and I love Steve Martin to this day.
But he like recognized that he just had to step away because it was too much. Like he just couldn't.
Also a pretty awesome musician too.
You're a Steve Martin fan, right, Andy? And he's been around for a while too, long time comic. He just had to.
Yeah, I mean,
stop doing stand up altogether for a while.
72 was his first SNL. Was it that early or
70 SNL started in 75.
Yeah, 75. No, I'm thinking. Yeah,
He was genuinely silly. That's what I liked about him.
Steve Martin wrote for the Smothers Brothers.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
Steve Martin is my favorite comedy movie scene in any movie is from Little Shop of Horrors, and it involves Steve Martin, where it's this. I mean, it involves Steve Martin, but it's ridiculous because Frank Oz, to bring it back around to the Muppets, directed Little Shop,
Mm-hmm.
There's an establishing shot of an alley, right?
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know you. I know you. So there's an establishing shot of an alley. It's quiet. You don't know why you're looking. There's nothing in the alley. There's no people, right? So it's an alley. I think that's right. Quiet. And then you hear like a maniacal laugh off in the background. And then for some reason, Steve Martin comes in riding a motorcycle from the top of the frame, like he's been flying. What idea was that? Like, and it took a lot of work and time and money to set up that shot where a motorcycle comes from the top and enters the frame.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was actually really close to
Long
asking
form.
this earlier. Do you think my older two kids are old enough to appreciate the jerk at this point? Like, if I convince them to watch it with me, you think they would enjoy it?
They're
My parent,
20 and 25, you said?
Yes. 13 and 12.
Of course. Yeah. And they'll get a crush on Bernadette Peters, so
Mhm.
it's even better.
They're anti anything that's semi old.
it does feel old.
That's my concern. I think I won't be able to. I think it does a good job of catching them right from the beginning, though. Like, of all comedies, I think it starts off just ridiculously funny. So I think that'll catch them. But I think if it didn't start that way, it'd be really tough to keep them there.
Show them dirty, rotten scoundrels instead. Yeah.
That's why you gotta like show your kids how to really do it, and you get a projector.
Is that a fruitcake?
That sounds like a Groucho joke because this is an original print of Night at the Opera.
Really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
the 2 reel print of
The
their
Phantom guy.
first MGM film.
Well, speaking of Marx Brothers, Margaret Dumont, come on. She's
Oh
brilliant.
yeah,
Screw you, Chum.
I don't know. You gotta. I'm terrible. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean she was
I fall short.
straight person, straight woman. But yeah, without Margaret Dumont, would there be the Marx Brothers? Who knows?
She like their mother. I have no idea who she is, and I feel awful.
I don't think no. I don't think Margaret Dumont was in The Coconuts, the Marx Brothers' first film, or was she? I know she was in Animal Crackers in every film thereafter, except for Night in Casablanca and Love Happy. But
I can't picture the face.
I'm not going to get into the Marx Brothers now because that's a real geeky, nerdy thing to do.
Yeah, everything else we've been talking about fell in that category at all.
I also have a original print of the original print, a Blackhawk print of Double Whoopee, the Laurel and Hardy film. The Blackhawk
I have
print,
not seen it.
Chump at Oxford,
Black cock print.
a Blackhawk print. Yeah, it's this company back in the 30s.
What were they? Were they studio or did they print the films?
So the studio, like my copy of Double Whoopee comes from the studio. It was their last silent film.
Oh, it's directly from that's what you mean.
Yeah. So it's an original Blackhawk print. Yeah.
See, my knowledge in this area is so lacking. I feel dumb.
I love 16 millimeter. It's just fun. So I have a few films. I have a copy of Frankenstein. Phantom of the Opera, the old Lon Chaney version.
If you would have said that,
Winnie
Andrew,
the Pooh. I have Winnie the Pooh, the whole thing. It's a great film. The original, The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, 1972, I think, somewhere around there.
So the film is from '77, but it's made up of short films from years prior.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God, you know that. That is amazing. Thank you for that
That's
is
super
so
impressive.
beautiful.
You guys should ask him about David.
You want to come over and watch Winnie the Pooh with me?
Sure.
Hell yeah. Because I watch it a lot.
Well, let me ask you this, Andy. How did you like? When did you first start getting into films that much, where you learned that much about them?
I don't know. When I remember, I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, I checked out a book at the library about that was for kids about how to make their own like trick movies, like effects movies. But I didn't have a camera or anything. But I still read this book and enjoyed it. And then when we got a camera, that was just. I think I was just I was interested creatively in everything, and so that was just another way to express myself creatively. And I
Yeah,
don't
you were
know,
the first
and
person I ever
because
saw
I
that
was
edited.
making movies, I was also interested in how they were made and everything.
Yeah, yeah, you were my first memory of knowing that you could actually edit a movie as a person and not like a major studio. You know what I mean? Like before I saw you be able to you do it, I had no idea it was possible to do as a like sole person. I thought it was like a big job. You know what I mean? I had no
And
concept of.
I saw Clerks when I was like 13 or something, and knowing that the guy who played Silent Bob was the guy who wrote it, and like, oh, that's the guy who wrote it, and these are his friends. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
making that connection. I see. Hiding from Toast. I mean, to me, is a classic that deserves way more recognition.
what?
Hiding from Toast.
Yeah,
The
it's on
soundtrack.
YouTube.
Yeah, the soundtrack to that is unbelievable. it's it's so good.
Yeah, when Andy was back here last time, we got to watch a lot of the movies that Andy,
Yeah,
Dave, and company had done, and it's ridiculously impressive, actually,
yeah,
how well everything looks. And Emily watched them with us, which was great.
Do you still have shots? Because I remember my brother being involved with some of that, some of the film that you were shooting at some point.
Mm.
He was some
Yeah, we wanted to
character.
make a movie called Jumbo. We started making it, but
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't
it.
finish it. I think I have the tapes in the corner.
He like played someone that pulled up on the side of the road or something, and then you had to.
He played some one of our brothers, I think, or something.
Oh, okay.
it's awesome that you still have that in your archive of and like
I
quickly
have a box
recalled
of
it.
tapes in the corner.
That's awesome. You were so, dude. It blew my mind all the time. Like I remember seeing like you. I believe you dubbed like just a Star Wars movie, like put your own voice in it, if I recall correctly. And it just was fucking hilarious. Or there were some scenes, maybe the Ewok scenes where you dubbed over those, changed subtitles, maybe.
I think,
We added subtitles to R2D2.
yeah.
This kind of thing is normal now on YouTube. People do that kind of stuff. But
Right. But this was like you were taking 2 VHS tapes and multiple VCRs and whatnot, right? Or a
yeah,
camcorder and VCR combo, and that was a lot of tedious stuff. Had to have
And
been.
just get the title, or what was the name of the machine that would actually impose, you know what I mean, put
I don't
captions.
know. With the subtitles, we did that on a computer. That was early. The first thing we did, Dave and I, once we were able to do things on a computer.
It's amazing.
But we
I
did do
remember.
captions on things prior to that, just names and stuff. But I don't remember what the thing was called.
Hmm.
So you're saying there was an actual machine that would imprint titles and captions
Yeah,
onto.
if you wanted titles, you had to buy something. You couldn't. Well, on the camera, you could do that on the camera too. You could type letters on the camera, but It was all very tedious.
Yeah, I feel like you had a camcorder really early on. You had like,
Not
and you took it
really.
everywhere. It seemed like.
I did take it everywhere, and it was huge.
Yeah. Full size VHS, right?
Yep.
That's awesome. It's weird how
I don't
that
know. Like
changed society wise. Everybody
what?
has that in their pocket now,
Yeah.
and nobody uses it to make cool movies like that.
Some
They
are.
should. Yeah.
Why'd you stop?
I don't have any actors anymore.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think it's. I don't have any musicians to play with.
I mean, I could do animation, but that's even more tedious. I don't have the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the bigger factor. Yeah.
When
I
I
get
was
that.
a teenager, I would spend hours editing these things and
Yeah.
not do homework.
Is that something that you wish you had more time to do, or do you think you would spend free time doing other stuff if you had more free time?
Both.
Are there any
I'd like to do
projects
more
that
of that.
you
Yeah.
are there any unfinished products that you wanted that you wish you would have finished or still want to finish?
There's nothing but unfinished things.
I like that.
You have a million ideas a day, and
I don't. You've had some good ones though. I
Yeah,
say we
yeah.
do it. Let's do it. I'll help you finish it. Sign me up. Can we do them virtual?
yeah, you make a virtual movie.
I'm down.
Most of the people who are doing this kind of thing now just react to other things.
Yeah.
I think we got this. That would be awesome.
I
would love
remember
to
having
Remember what?
in Andy's house when I was a kid. One of talking about joyful moments, not necessarily laughter-filled moments, but totally joy-filled moments. I remember so getting down to Vanilla Ice in Andy's house and Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go. We had that. We would rock that on cassette so long. that was ridiculous.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to any mainstream music, Andy? Like when he first said that, I didn't think of Go Ninja Go. I pictured you dancing to Ice Ice Baby, and it didn't fit.
I like the Who.
Okay.
I like a lot of classic rock.
Yeah, we went to see the Who in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that's good.
Except John Entwistle died right before the tour.
Yeah. But Pino Palladino, who's an
Yeah, that's true.
But
He
still.
he was pretty sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we guessed.
Robert Plant's shirt unbuttoned itself as he performed.
It
He was
did.
the opener.
That's right.
The crowd went. He changed the words to "going to California" to "going to Indiana."
Did he?
Yes, you
I don't
know.
remember that. I don't.
Yeah. People. It's like it's Indiana. He's coming here.
That old trick.
I remember we asked what songs we wrote down what songs that we hoped the Who would play, and
I didn't do
I think you didn't do that. Tim O'Brien's was Heinz baked beans. That was what he really wanted them to play. Yeah.
that. Maybe I did
Who
do it. I
saw
just don't remember.
You don't
I
need to
feel
be.
like there was a lot of prep put into that show. Like, because I think I was involved with that too. I think I wrote a list, but all mine were the hits. I didn't have anything. I wanted to hear Bob O'Reilly live. That kind of stuff.
So this is pretty interesting, Ryan. So Emily, my gal here, she really loves Radiohead, and when Jeff O'Brien
Wait.
was
Before you continue.
Yeah.
You baked cookies for the show and replaced words of the Who songs with the word cookies on each batch of cookies. So you gave
I
out
did
cookies. Yes, you gave out cookies that said "Cookies reign over me," and etc.
I have zero recollection of that, but I believe you.
What did you put in the cookies?
Cookie stuff. I have
I
I'm
I
sorry.
100%
I
believe
just
that.
wanted to say that before we moved on.
have no recollection of that whatsoever. But I remember, was it with you, Andy, that we made fortune cookies where we inserted our own fortunes that we came up with? It didn't end up working, but it was like, you will die soon.
If it didn't end up working, it was probably with me.
No, so this is really, really interesting to me. So when Jeff O'Brien lived, when we were at USI in Evansville, Kid A came out, the Radiohead album, and the only place that was open at midnight to get it was actually a Walmart over in Kentucky, right? So Jeff and I went to go get it, and I remember this other couple that was there wandering around like saying, "Oh, Kid A's supposed to be here. The album, where's it at? Where's it at?" Right? And so we went and got somebody, and they opened up the boxes, and we bought the album, right?
I think you might be misremembering this. Because I have this exact same memory, but it was me and you, and we were getting Vespertine.
No. I'm not misremembering. No, this was
It's the exact same thing.
I remember that happened. It was at Meyer. I remember that. This was different. So we went over there. We got it. There was this lady who was over there too, wanting the album, and so we got it and we left. And what I've since found out is that at that time, Emily was going to school in Owensboro, Kentucky, which is where we bought from the Walmart. So
Is this a ghost story?
no, it's not a ghost story. She's not dead. It was Emily which is so weird. That was Emily who was in the same store buying the Radiohead album.
Oh,
Jeff and I were there. Like what are the odds of that?
what are the odds of that? Yeah, right.
No, really. And then the Radiohead show that that we all went to, Emily was also at the one at the Blossom Music Center
In Cuyahoga?
yeah,
Yeah.
there
She,
too.
she didn't come with us, though.
Wow.
Did she?
No,
No,
she didn't
no.
come with us. She
But she
actually
was
got a
there.
speeding ticket on the way there. Yeah, that she
Wow.
remembers. It's just odd. It's just interesting.
One of those "what took you so long" things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just it really is. But no, Andy, I clearly remember the buying the Vespertine from Meyer. So
Can
It
we
was the
focus
same
on a
thing.
key point of that story where you mentioned when you first got there, you said there was this other couple. So how long were you and Jeff dating at that point, or?
I didn't know her. I didn't meet Emily officially until 20.
I think you said Jeff.
Oh, Jeff? Oh, yeah, gotcha. You've been dating briefly at that point.
Awesome. And you guys are the same age?
Yeah, same age.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was having like this whole pseudo life without you that just intertwined with you anyway the entire time.
It's really because I told her that story, and it was a really weird moment. Like
Yeah.
really weird, like throwing two people together like that. But anyway, one time Andy and I went to go buy a Bjork album at Meyer.
When we were a couple.
When we were a couple, yeah.
I remember this.
Where Emily and I had met. Yeah, good old desperate.
What happened there?
Well, he moved to Germany. He met another gal.
They had a falling out, and then he moved to Germany.
I can't name one Bjork song, and I can't even like.
Oh, come on, not one.
I can't even think of how she sounds like her voice is.
Oh, what? Have you never heard Bjork?
This is where my shame comes in again because I like my musical history is just so bland and uninteresting. Like I have no exposure to good music at all, really. Like
Yeah, but Bjork is
I went
universal.
from
At least
bluegrass
her
to
sound
80s
is universal.
metal and shit. You know what I mean? So
I was into 80s metal.
Ryan and I drove to Colorado to see Bjork.
We stayed at my great uncle's house.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I remember listening to, you had a Doors box set, and I
Mhm.
remember listening to Riders on the Storm as there was a storm.
Going back to Indiana through Kansas, man, that storm was. I think we had to pull over on the side of the road at one point because
yeah.
the visibility was like 5 feet.
And you blew a tire at one point, and we didn't
Yeah,
have a flashlight, so we had a lighter underneath the car, which
it
is
was a grand idea.
yeah,
We saved our lives that night.
yeah, we really did.
No, I have very
boys,
fond
I'm
memories
getting all
of that.
slacked out in my eyeballs. It's 1 a.m.
Okay, you got the applesauce eyes.
Now they're just getting real drunky. I'm
All
tired.
right.
I've been up since 7. I'm not trying to end this for you guys, but
I've been
I
up
may
since
have to call
5.
it.
So
Same.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up since you have the applesauce eyes. Then.
But man, this is awesome. I have to admit, and I would like to do this again right away.
can you just put your Zoom?
Say that again.
Just put your Zoom thing next to the bed, and we can watch you sleep.
Give me a few minutes to get set up.
I'll put you to sleep, Justin. I'll play for you. No, I can do Wheels on the Bus all day long.
Actually, I was really, your 6-year-old daughter can play piano better than I can, and that was a little heartbreaking when I watched her play Twinkle Twinkle with little to no effort, and I have no idea how to do that.
This is my new thing I'm trying to figure out, and I don't know if we want to end the night on this, but it's an Otamatone. You guys seen one of these?
Oh,
what?
gross.
Which end goes where?
Wait,
An instrument?
do it.
Oh, the little voice box is inside the mouth, so you get the little flanger going,
Okay.
like that, and it's a fretless board.
Hold it up to the mic.
Huh.
Is everyone scared yet? It's like a Japanese something. The instructions came in Japanese. There's no English and there's no translation. There's a dog. At any rate, so that's an automaton.
It's called a what?
It's called an automaton.
Otamatone.
An automaton, yeah.
A Tommy Two-Tone.
So I think I'm gonna like do an arrangement of something in GarageBand with this.
Can you get it with like different faces?
It looks like a variation of the stylophone, but gross.
Yeah, right.
It reminds me of that cow toy.
What cow toy?
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
But this is like playable.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
You
Come
can play
on.
the cat toy.
Play us out, buddy.
I'm not gonna play the automaton. Are you kidding me? No.
Play us as I fade into the end call here.
No,
Now Ryan calling on the auto. What's it?
The automaton.
Otamatone. They don't make them in different faces, though. Honestly, they should.
It's my new instrument that I'm playing around with. I also took the thumb board off an auto harp, and I'm learning how to pluck it. So that's fun.
Did you say pluck?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm plucking.
So you've taken an auto harp and you've made it not auto.
I've turned it into a zither.
Gotcha.
A
Yeah.
zipper?
A zither, but with a different kind of tuning.
Well, what kind of weird instruments do you have, Lauren?
None behind me that are within reach, unfortunately.
Because Ryan's got the theremin there too, as well. I see.
Yeah, I got theremin.
I don't. That's wild. Andy, do you have any weird instruments?
I don't think so.
You know what's bad? I
kazoo,
can't
maybe.
even remember the name of it
I can see this is a good note to end on. It's called the Otamatone.
because I'm going to Google it because I want one. Are they
Yeah,
expensive?
well, you can get them in. This is the small size. You can actually get a really big one. So I would highly recommend that because you have a larger fretboard, more to work with.
Well,
But keep in, but
Larger mouth
but
on the
keep
thing.
in mind, you don't
you
have
don't
much
actually put your
area
mouth on it
this
though.
thing.
It requires no mouth action.
Well, besides what you can do with your fingers.
it doesn't require it, but you know.
Yeah.
So what makes so the lever pushes air through, I guess, making the sound?
No, there's no air. It's all electronic. Mic drop. Wow.
It's been a fucking pleasure, boys. I appreciate every one of
All
you.
right.
Love you guys very
right,
much.
guys.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Have a good night. Have a good
Love you,
day.
Lauren. Love you,
Every
Andy.
Friday, I'm here if you want to do it.
Love y'all. See you later.
Bye, Anders. Bye, Lauren. Bye, Ryan.
Fun. I'll talk to you all soon.
Later, guys.